Welcome back to Team Fortress TV. Did you miss me? No, me neither. It has been a pretty punishing day of TF2 so far. Some very intense matches. We have one left, coming to the thin end of that lower bracket, and it's going to be Jasmine T against Full Tilt. Jasmine T seemed to, progress fairly easily, but Full Tilt story was quite a troubled one, CX.
Yeah, I don't know the full story, but it went to 3 maps against NX, and they were losing the final map for a little bit of time before eventually pulling ahead to a final score of 4-2.
They did. They got slammed on the second map, lost product 3-0. I caught them outside having a smoke break. They seem a little bit dejected. Followed them in for the start of the third map. They lost the first round. I was like, oh no, Full Tilt are going Full Tilt. But I don't know, they managed to bring it back, but there's definitely something not quite right there ever since they lost to Crowns earlier in the day. I think it seems to be a different side to what we saw yesterday.
The manner in which they lost to Crowns as well. They didn't, like, Jasmine lost the same round as well, but really close games could have gone the other way. Full Tilt had no chance. Like, was it 5-1, 6-1? Absolutely smashed. And that's got to leave you dejected, I guess, especially when you've had such close games against them so many times in the past, and they're on the biggest stage. Just throw.
Looking at the logs from those games, I know we don't have them on the screen right now, but at the time I looked at them and it seemed like Ali wasn't able to have the same impact he had yesterday. So was kind of sitting over his shoulder there watching him in the last game there against NX. And he does seem to be getting back into the swing of things, but just overall the team seemed a little quiet. It has been a long day of TF2. I'm sure it's even longer if you're in the lower bracket. And right now, War, they have one more game. Can Full Tilt do it?
I don't know. Jasmine T have been rested for a bit. Who was it that they last played?
Comfortably spanked.
Comfortably spanked. So I guess that they comfortably spanked them. Hot diggity. We're on fire. So yeah, I would say that they're probably better rested, I feel.
I think they were quick games as well against Comfortably Spanked.
Especially as well. Full Tilt, having just finished their game, they don't get a massive break to unwind. They're probably still sort of like about how close it was against NX. So, yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to say the least, but I think Jasmine T have got this.
I think, I agree with you. I think the biggest problem for Full Tilt, and he talked about it, the way earlier he said Admirable about the way they lost to Crowns. Going on Tilt, they don't have someone like Banny or like Cadus to just bring everyone down, keep cooling, keep them on a level.
That's very true, because I was like, when I was standing outside, it was like a couple of ZenX guys, then it was Flash and Koss. And I was trying to ask them, I know it was probably still raw after the Viaduct result, but I was like, what went wrong? What do you need to change? And they're just like, don't know, need to play better. Didn't seem to be like that clear leadership voice or whatever, but somehow they've managed to dig themselves out of this hole. You say they don't have much time for a break, but the teams tend to be alone to themselves at LAN. It could be like 30 minutes before the game starts, who knows?
Yeah, that is true. They might just sort of, go.
Nymphe will be pulling her hair out, she'll be like,
you know what?
That's what happened to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I used to be a tournament admin.
But yeah, I think it's going to be kind of difficult, as you were saying. Like, there is nobody really on Full Tilt that stands out as like the kind of person to go, yo bitch, shut up, and just sort of peg everybody down to like the level of everyone else and just sort of go, look, this is what we need to address, this is what's going wrong. Like Zenix have it in Flushy. When I was sort of standing behind him, it was like Flushy that was one that was calling the shots. When they were sort of behind against Full Tilt, he was just sort of, it was on Badlands last, and like, look, just push out. If we get back up, we get back up. Just go for it. We have to, go for this and win. And it's like, nobody was really sort of like counter-calling, apart from Tiger, but he just seems to do that anyway because he's an underrated player. But I think overall, it's going to be kind of difficult for Full Tilt. They do seem like if we can't out-DM them, we can't do anything else.
But yesterday they were riding high. Obviously, the story from yesterday was Jasmine T. They came in and looked great in their first game, but then each map they just managed to throw it away with kind of silly decisions right at the end. Do you think they're still kind of reeling from that Froyotech game? That had to really rock their confidence, I mean.
I think the biggest thing for me is the nature of how they lost that second map when they had a great opportunity, got all that cap time from Zaka on Gully Watch, which we cast our minds back, and then bottled it. They've been playing sort of balls to the wall all weekend, and then they bottled it when it really, when it got really tense. But obviously that's one small mistake in what was a very close series. It's something they can look at, and they've had time to reflect on, and they can come back on it. And obviously they've already played against Full Tilt in the group stage. I believe that was a draw as well.
I was actually the thing that really stood out for me today, sitting in the crowd, actually watching the games. We've got great speakers set up now. Shout out to all the people who have been tuning into the games live, but just how much of a team effort it has been from Jasmine T. Literally every player had been stepping up. Sure, Dave maybe dropped 4 Ubers on Granary or whatever it was, but I really felt more aware of the impact everyone was having. And Zaka in particular, every time that WARHURYEAH were making the push or whatever, he was always the guy coming in from behind or the thorn on their side. He just seemed to have a great read on how to shut down that momentum from teams, and it was impressive to see. Jasmine T continued to impress. I know they kind of sabotaged themselves, but I think I have to agree they're still the favourites here. Full Tilt are on the downward slope, or they're kind of on the rocky terrain.
The thing is, they've still shown what they can bring, and I mean, even though they did kind of throw the games away against WARHURYEAH, they still performed better than anybody would have guessed. It's not like they can still sort of hold their heads up high and go, look, we still put on some of the best games as well. They performed amazingly. So you do have that as an advantage. I'm sure that they're still going to go into this game feeling very confident, and I'm pretty sure Full Tilt will kind of be a little bit scared because they don't have necessarily the momentum in their favour, whereas Jasmine T's team seems to me that they'll probably enjoy themselves a bit more, and obviously if you enjoy playing, you'll probably perform a lot better, I feel.
They seem to have a lot more just sort of trust in each other almost. We see sometimes with Full Tilt how Solentes will not have the worst idea, but he kind of goes ahead of his team. He goes too quickly, whereas Jasmine T seem a lot more in sync.
Yeah, and they've obviously they've stayed true to their style, which is aggression, just not being afraid, just dipping their balls into the enemy faces.
No fear.
Yeah.
Painting beautiful pictures with words. And I mean, the bigger picture here is, of course, that the winner of this game is going to go ahead and play WARHURYEAH in the first game tomorrow. And I guess Jasmine T are probably really, keen to get that rematch on. That might be a big motivation for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. They lost so narrowly. It could have been another day. You play that match 10 more times. It could have gone 10 more different ways. It was so close, and I think they'll want to redeem themselves against WARHURYEAH. They'll want to beat the Americans, and they've got to get past Full Tilt first. And obviously, on the flip side of that, the loser goes home. The loser is out. 4th place finish for the loser.
They go home when their flights arrive.
This is Australia's chance to avoid the 4th place curse, isn't it? They lose.
Yeah.
The curse continues.
Yeah, that is true. But would it happen, or will it happen?
You've just jinxed them.
I've jinxed the curse.
Curse of the Analyst? Is that a thing? It is now.
Cast a curse. That's it. Yeah.
Cursed for curse.
I do believe that we, of
Can
course,
you curse me on winning the lottery?
Yeah, we have beautiful stream graphics lined up. You want to see the updated Gentleman John stats from these lower bracket games as well. So
Solentes there.
Cilantros.
And Thalash. Yeah, looking here then, I can see that Ast is currently #1 for Scout.
He had a really good game
deaths.
against Xenix in the last one. 28 kills, 18 deaths. Sorry, 28 kills, 18 assists, 7 deaths. So he was, I believe the lads say, lit.
Is Ast the best Scout here, or has he just been farming those nerds for stats?
To be honest, he's been performing as well as he has been. Before he sort of made the big jump up to Prem, he was a very, very good up-and-coming scout. He would consistently just smash everybody. And last season he kind of had a bit of a quieter time. Whereas now at LAN he's performing well. Thalash has been sort of the one in comparison that's been a little bit quieter. He's had more inconsistent games. Perhaps there is a reason why Thalash on LAN doesn't perform so well as to be in At home on his personal computer, where nobody can watch his screen.
Of course, though, I must just clarify that these stats are specifically for the time he played as scout. Like, any sniper stats don't show up here. So, you know, I'm just standing up for Thalash. His incredible off-classer.
Yeah, he is. I mean, like, he still had some really, really good standout games, but he's sort of not been performing up to the level that he has been previously, I feel.
Not as consistently, I think. Like, he still occasionally has these like big moments on defenses where he gets important frags at important times, but he's not been putting that sort of consistent performance across the board, putting up the big numbers. He seems to be more of a key moment specialist. But obviously, we talked about how consistent Jasmine T were and how all the players across the roster are all contributing. You maybe need a little bit more of the time from Thalash.
I feel like Full Tilt are kind of dependent on how well Ali and Mike are performing in any given map. We see Mike here, still ranked #1 for KD and KAD for roamers at the tournament so far. Does that surprise you? Because talking to both Browns way earlier on, and also to Xenix, they were suggesting that, you know, Mike was kind of off his game a little bit. He was, what was it? How did Spud phrase it? He said, Mike keeps doing this stupid shit he does at LAN, and it's becoming a bit predictable. So, like, Mike was trying to put a lot of pressure on Spud, but Spud was having no trouble dealing with it.
There has been a Portuguese influence that has been
Is this the infamous Mike Kyler for fun relationship?
He can't stop talking about Kyler for fun. Really grinding.
Look, he impressed me with how many times he lifted me up. Although he did eat cottage cheese next to me, which made me feel so sick that we lost the LAN finals.
What's your beef with cottage cheese?
When he eats it out of the tub, like straight out of the tub, with a spoon, it looks disgusting. It was just like, he's practically just eating off milk next to me.
So we didn't have any crackers, any bread?
No, he just was eating cottage cheese straight from the pot. Nothing with it. Just proper, like, spoon it in, shoveling it in his mouth. It was like, you're an animal. Get out of my face. But we were playing a game, so he had to stay next to me. I demanded to Nox to move seats, and he just went, oh. Fine.
Probably don't understand what you said.
Probably.
It is understandable then, you know, that Mike might be struggling with that mental image of Kyler for fun. Oh. Anyway, this is only our first team Full Tilt. Let's take a look at Jasmine T, and I see how they're stacking up with the stats right now.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything, but David has been pestering us about swapping to Jasmine T. We cue him. They're not ready.
Don't acknowledge the production. You're triggering Dashner.
Look, I'm being triggered, and I've just spilt salt over it.
Everywhere.
It was upside down. And it's all over my keyboard.
So, you know...
You're literally dripping salt.
This is a nightmare now.
Can we get some more salt on stage, please?
We're fading in and out of the ether here, but...
my hands are sticking out. It's all in my hands.
I believe we were trying to talk about Jasmine T.
Yes, we were. And Paulson, good.
Geo, good.
They've been performing very well. As I was mentioned previously, the soldiers were an unknown quantity to most people, and they're kind of like the class where you can't really gauge how good they're going to be against like other teams. Like, I think everybody kind of knew, you know, that Sheepy was going to be good. Sheep was going to be good when he came over here. Whereas soldiers, it's kind of a bit hard to sort of really gauge what their impact will be, but they've had a really good impact.
Yeah, would you say they're now a known quantity at this stage of the competition?
What quantity would it be, though?
4.
That's right, everybody. The unknown quantity conundrum has been solved.
The answer was 4 all along.
It was 4. Oh, look at them sitting there. They're talking about putting other crustaceans on the barbecue. Possibly.
Why is Paulson shaking so much when he aims? Look at that. He keeps jolting.
It's because he's got such powerful biceps, CommanderX, that when he moves his mouse, if he doesn't force his muscles to just seize up, his arm will just smack the next person straight in the face.
Maybe that's why Dave kept dropping the Ubers.
Exactly.
Paulson kept
It's
just accidentally
because
smacking him
Paulson
in
just
the
keeps
face.
on like just smacking him. It's a disaster.
It's a terrible seating arrangement.
Like at the end of this, like he's gonna have black eyes, like just blood pouring down because Paulson can't contain his incredible, beautiful strength.
Interesting to note here, actually. 11 Uber drops for Dave. Does anyone remember how many Koss had? Can we flick back to
Uber per drop, I
tilt?
believe, for Koss was 42.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, that I remember Dave. He had 6 deaths, 4 drops on one map.
To have a granary map, yeah.
So that is a high percentage. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure if it's like, what's up with Dave?
They like to commit their medic. They're not afraid to send Dave in, and he's not afraid to drop an Uber or two. So
Or is it like the Agron?
yeah.
Australian Agron. That's an old school reference.
If everyone could please just stop and go look up that
First man
reference
on the
now.
point.
Yeah, if you get out your TF2 history book and skip to page 68, paragraph 2, Team Dignitas, when TF2 had sponsors in the masses, Agron was there, and he was known for just
Committing.
and
Committing.
DMing and just
Always
sort of
committing.
baiting himself all the time. He'd probably be like the first one to walk in from Granary Choke,
Yep.
just be like,
No fear.
"Hello, I'm here. Look
Try
at
and
me.
kill me."
I'm an innocent medic." And then they would then kill him and he'd drop, but his team would probably just turn the situation around anyway somehow. So
That's what happens when he's significantly better than every other team in the continent.
for like 2 years. But yeah, Dave seems to be a bit shaky, but it doesn't seem to be sort of like causing that much of a problem though, because they've still been putting some amazing performances. Maybe they are purposely doing this, you know, to put themselves at a disadvantage.
To even
Maybe
the
like
playing field.
Dave is just sort of going, guys, how many times shall I drop? And like every time he does it, they're like, "Oh mate, I can't believe you've done it again. You fooled us."
They do seem to have quite a positive attitude all round. You know, they don't seem to get, I don't know, like put off by bad results or bad plays, or if someone makes an individual mistake or something doesn't go how they want it to, it never really seems to snowball that much. Do you know what I mean? There never seems to be any tension, or in the vast majority of cases, except for that gully wash last, it doesn't change the way they approach the next situation.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, Dave drops one Uber,
Yeah.
he'll risk it again.
Yeah.
He'll drop another one, he'll risk it again. He'll drop another one,
It'd be like,
and he'll risk it again.
Guys, trust me, it's not going to happen again. I promise. Next time I will right click. Then I've sort of, I've given him a script. Every time he does hit 100%, he executes it, and every key on his keyboard turns into mouse 2.
Gio's now in charge of it for him. He's got like a panic button.
He has the GG button that's tied to it, so he just smacks it. And it's like, "Dave, use it." "No, mate." And he goes, "Use it." That's it.
I believe we have some head-to-heads.
Yeah.
I'd like to see actually, you know, Dave versus Koss here. I want to see that medic matchup
Who dropped the most?
because you know, Koss fancies himself as the best medic in Europe. What do the stats tell us?
54 crits. Is this just a slan?
Yeah. Well, you remember, was it the Gully Wash game against Crowns?
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah,
he
like-
ran or like he ran 3 Ubers and 10 crits or 80% crits, I think, something
Yeah.
along those lines. He went all-out crits.
Yeah.
And they all-out lost.
Yeah, as you can see, Koss has a better Uber to drop ratio.
Despite all those crits as well.
Yeah. Dave has 11 Uber drops so far this tournament. So even if his team doesn't win, he still wins in that regard. So he can print that off, take a screenshot of that, and hope that nobody else for the rest of the tournament drops Ubers, and he can stick that on as well. But yeah, like, to be honest, despite the trash that we're getting, he's been playing pretty well. The games have been quite high stakes, very tense. So yeah, mistakes will happen.
It's kind of nutty that it's 54 crits. That doesn't seem
Yeah,
entirely
that doesn't seem
possible.
right to me. That really doesn't. But production.
Either way, he
I
has
mean,
been
look, he's
using
got
crits more often than he has online.
125 Ubers,
Total.
and 54 crits on top of that. Gentleman John, I've got him on my speed line.
Over to you, John.
I've got a small fax machine that I have that he prints off my latest stats from PugChamp.
What are your latest stats from PugChamp?
I'm doing very bad.
Oh.
That's not.
Show me some Demo Man stats. I want to see the head-to-head here between Ali and Paulson. And of course, I have to ask the best Demo Man at the table, the hero of what was that American LAN you went to? GXL?
GXL.
CommanderX.
I was the best Demo Man at that LAN. Despite finishing last, I was incredible. So, really, I think Paulson has been better. When they both had good games and not as good games, but I think Paulson's been more consistent. But if they're both firing at top level, they're pretty much toe and toe, really. They're really even, as long as Ali performs to the level and he doesn't drop off like he did in the Crowns game, and I think certain parts of the Xenix game he also struggled in. If he can hit that level he played at yesterday, it's dead even between them.
I mean, Ali did win Demo Man of the season last season. Paulson didn't, so that's a sort of like a telltale sign.
But how many invite championships? Do you know who has the most invite championships out of these guys?
None.
I think they both have 0.
Oh, so yeah, again, dead even.
I mean,
Dead
yeah,
even.
Paulson didn't win ETF 12's best Demo Man of last season at all, to be honest. So that's quite disappointing showing. Ali won it, so I guess that puts him ahead. But I kind of feel like in some situations, Ali kind of has to do a little bit more work. Paulson, like, doesn't exactly have to, because like the rest of his team, to me, seem like they will show up. They all seem to sort of depend on each other. There was obviously like the game from Yui where he went completely massive on the first day, where he had like 38 frags. And I kind of sort of thought, you know, this is going to be like the whole sheep immunity kind of thing, where they're going to really sort of maybe focus him to create a play in a stalemate situation. But Madness has been stepping up as well. Both of the soldiers have been stepping up. The only person that's been dead weight is Dave, so I just think they should just get rid of him.
Just play without a medic, probably. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Get him to buff in spawn, and then he can just go get him some drinks.
Interestingly, you can actually see kind of Ali's inconsistency there on his graph. He's got some really high peaks there. Some games where he slams, and then other games where he is in a kind of negative KD ratio.
The slammy.
The slammy.
Yeah, the slammer becomes the slammer. So yeah, it is very, very up and down, but I do think that it could possibly be contributed to the team morale and obviously the games against Xenix, for example. There's no one that will sort of just slow everything down, and I think if you're not sort of performing well, everybody starts to try and do lots of individual plays. So that's sort of like one of the problems, where if your team's not doing well, you're not performing up to your best, you all try and sort of like go for the huge plays.
AMS syndrome.
Yeah, AMS syndrome, but constantly.
I mean, like, if you call your team full tilt, is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Is it like, is that always at the back of your head?
Yeah, I think they should have called themselves i58 champions. Probably have like a better mindset going into this tournament.
Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, because if they don't
GG.
win i58, they could just it's just an ironic name. You see, whereas now it would just be the prophecy has been fulfilled.
Definitely more pressure on Ali's shoulders going into these games.
Ali's soldiers.
Pressure
on his shoulders and his shoulders.
Segue into shoulders.
I believe I'd already done that.
Let me see that pocket matchup then. For any soldier matchup would be great. Here we go. Geo
Silenties
versus Silantes.
I've not really seen much of Silantes this LAN in terms of like in-game like big plays and such. He's been a bit anonymous for me.
Yeah, I think it's just you can see the hills per minute is significantly lower for him. But I think it's just maybe the Uber v Ubers. Like full tilt to me don't really, it doesn't seem to be like that favourable for them. So because of that, if you exchange Ubers, I mean, looking back at a video game, it was them against Froyo, where they would sort of trade Ubers, and you know, as a pocket, you literally go in, you trade Ubers, you exit, and then it's maybe a recycling point. So you don't really get like a massive impact in some of the slower games as you'd like, but I don't know, this is going to be the game where he has to step up. So, you know, there is no second chance anymore. You either go huge or you go home. Most sexual.
Looking at the graph again, Salendi's series of bars there look much less intimidating and prominent than Geo's proud, tall, phallic-looking bar chart there.
That's a strange phallic-looking bar. I would honestly advise you to see a medical professional. Sideshow.
Let's see that rubber matchup.
Two very different types of roamers here. Zaka playing a lot more on the flank with the pain train a lot more setting the plays up for the team.
Yeah.
Whereas Mike plays with significantly more heals than a lot of the roamers at this LAN and plays very much.
You say that he's got 10 less heals per minute, mate, so what are you chatting about?
I can't read the numbers from here.
That's your problem, not mine. But Mike seems to be sort of like more of a solo player, you know, go in, go huge, create some insane plays, hit a nutty air shot kind of thing. Whereas Zaka seems to rely on his team a lot, but his team also rely on him a lot. Like they work in sync with each other. You know, they sort of really play off each other's roles. I mean, against Crowns, Zaka played very, very well. Never sort of really dived in too deep. He was always sort of like on the flank and just sort of cutting across, taking out scouts and just being a general presence. It's not like a case of, you know, how Paddy played on Granary against Full Tilt, where he just went in, died. You know, he sort of valued his life a little bit more, despite him having a high average death count.
We can see the Michael Adams extra 10% damage on every rocket effect here. Look at the consistency in this man's damage output.
It's crazy, especially on Roma, how he just hits every rocket, spam every crucial rocket, every easy rocket. He's just so consistent in putting out that damage. And he's a great asset for the team, but Full Tilt need more. Mike's always going to be solid on Roma, but they need something more from the rest of the team.
They need 5 other players, including scouts.
At least a couple.
Let's see some scout head-to-heads here as well. We're still waiting for the teams, you know, to get ready on the server. We're not just, you know, so enthusiastic about the stats that we're milking it for every ounce of analysis that we can.
I am, to be honest. This is I'm in.
All right then, jump in. Madness versus Ast.
Wow, look at those average kills per map from Ast. That is a high number, 21. He's third in KD ratio, first in kills, assists, and deaths. And that is probably because his last map against Xenex, he was nutty as fuck. He was really, really good. He had 28 kills, 18 assists, 7 deaths, as I mentioned previously. So he was really dishing out the damage in all sense of the word. So overall, he's been performing very well. I was saying previously how I think it was, what team was it on? Was it Hello Kitty Ninjas?
Yes, with Salento.
Yeah, he was really, really good in that team. Whenever I saw them play, he would always be consistently up there on the scoreboard. His kill-death ratios would always be incredibly obscene. I did report him to the anti-cheat team, but however, as they are incompetent, nothing came from it. And here he is now hacking at LAN. I saw his monitor. He has ESP. Please deal with that. But yeah, he's been performing incredibly well. Very, very consistent, I would say. But there have been like a couple of games where he's been a non-factor. Again, I kind of feel like maybe if they just sort of work with Mike a little bit more, like with the amount of damage that he does, it's just going to be easy frags. Like, it's the easiest job in the world for a scout if you're playing with Mike, because he'll do so much damage output. You can just sort of like waltz in, pew pew, dead. I mean, Scout's easy. It's like the easiest class in the game. Like, why would you not want your job to be easier than it already is?
No one really plays with Mike in the same way you see other sort of flank scouts and roamers sort of plays a bit of a duo on the flank.
Yeah,
Mike,
like Blaze and Clockwork, they were always sort of like an inseparable partnership, both in-game and in the bedroom. But with Mike, it seems like he's more reluctant to that because he fancies the Portuguese.
We also, just to note here that Ast is actually getting 26 more heals on average here per minute. Is that a factor?
That is a small health pack worth of heals.
every minute.
Every single fight and 1v1 he takes, it's like he has a small health pack just next to him. Like just
There's probably an unlock for
Is this
that.
why Dave's dropping Ubers though?
There
Is
is,
Madness
isn't it?
not there?
Like,
Is he not
there is a
protecting
unlock
his
for that.
medic?
Yeah.
Can we read that deeply into this one stat?
This is what it means. Gentleman John, we await your post-LAN article explaining these things for the masses. I certainly do. Let's have a look at the other scout matchup, because there are 2 more, as is the lineups of 6
player on each team.
That is right. Yui versus Tahalash.
Tahalash indeed.
Tahalash.
Not a lot, again, very close between both of these
I like
teams.
how you have to lean forward to really get numbers.
When I said I couldn't read the numbers earlier, I wasn't joking. I can
Have
only
you-
see which bar is bigger.
Thought about seeing a medical professional about that.
I'll start a fundraiser when I get home.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, Yui's had sort of like, he had an amazing start, absolutely obscene. He's sort of just been consistent for the rest of it, to be honest. His sniping's been very good as well. Had some really good, outstanding moments. Dalash as well has had his good moments as well. These guys do seem to be pretty much even, I would say, in their sort of like play styles and their performances through LAN. It's just that I feel Yui's had a few more outstanding ones. Full Tilt have had quite a few up and down games. It was against a team that I forget that they had a bit of an up and down ride. It might have been Xenix. They did lose 3-0 or 3-1 on product, which is not a result that they would favour. Speaking of which, though, we do have map bans soon, which we can talk about.
Should we have a discussion about maps?
We can. What do
Obviously,
we think the maps will be?
The Australians aren't going to want to play Reckoner.
That is true.
And also, because of how good Jasmine were against Froyotech, I want to say, on group stage day, Full Tilt aren't going to want to play Viaduct, especially if they can't beat Xenix. You probably can't beat Jasmine T on it.
This is a battle of wits.
That's going to be
They'll
an
have to find a
auto
good
ban
map.
though. They have to get rid of product, right?
Yeah, they have to. I wouldn't risk it at all. Way too risky.
It is risky.
I wouldn't risk Reckoner either if I was Jasmine T.
You never know, they might feel a bit ballsy and just sort of go...
They've been ballsy
Right.
all LAN. Why not? First pick, Reckoner. See you on.
Nobody saw that coming. That is a twist in the tail. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite interesting how they do the maps. I think overall it will probably favour... I mean, we haven't really seen a weak map from Jasmine, just because, I mean, even against Froyotech, they were really, really close. So, yeah, I think it really does favour them in that way. I mean, Full Tilt did lose heavily against, what is their
Crowns.
name? Crowns and Xenix. They got thrashed in maps by both of those teams, so
What
they're going
maps
to be
was
a
it
little
against
bit...
Crowns?
Let me just type it in to my system.
Bringing up the database now, please bear with us.
Give me a moment whilst we...
I'm going to say
quickly-
Badlands and Gully Wash. Out of instinct.
I'm pretty sure it was Badlands and Gullywash out of my instinct. Which
Gully
is
Wash, obviously a very strong map for Crowns, which we saw in that upper bracket final.
more brackets.
So I don't know if they'll fancy it, because it's a completely different kettle of fish against Jasmine T. But like we said before, Jasmine T don't look
They've
particularly weak
shown
on
that they
any
have
map.
a little bit on everything. It seems though, like we have theory crafted. We're going to go with the first 2 obvious bans, that Full Tilt will ban Viaduct product, and that Jasmine T are probably just going to get Reckoner out of the way, because they seem capable pretty much everywhere else. So we're going to see some sort of 5 CP slugfest. And
Have we
they probably
seen-
don't care too much which maps there are. They seem pretty confident all round.
I don't think we've seen Jasmine T on Snakewater yet. Am I right in thinking that?
No, they have played Snake Water, but that was off stream against Comfortably Spanked.
So they've played no one good
Yeah,
on Snakewater,
basically.
yeah.
Xenix did 3-0 Full Tilt on product, so that might be a ban for them. Crowns beat Full Tilt 5-1 and 6-1 in Gullywash and Process.
Process. Okay.
So, to me, it's looking like Full Tilt actually have a few maps that they may not actually want to actually use, you know? Like there's quite a few that they might want to avoid.
Yeah, I think Badlands might be a good pick for Full Tilt. Like, Jasmine T have lost it. Not by a lot, and again, it could have gone either way, but I feel like it's a map It's a really standard map. Full Tilt will be a little bit more comfortable on it.
Yeah, I think they probably want to push for, easy maps. I mean, they beat ZX on Snake Water and Badlands, so maybe they'll try and go for
yeah.
Or maybe they'll even go for Reckoner, their best map.
I mean, a lot of the times Jasmine T have been banning Reckoner as their second ban, I believe, which seems a bit of a gamble, really.
Yeah,
leaves it open for a pick.
If I remember,
the full still think that Reckoner's their home map. That was theme from the season.
As far as I know, I would imagine that maybe Jasmine T do get like an advantage in the pick bans, so they could even just sort of try and sort of force Full Tilt to pick Reckoner anyway, just as like a, we will probably win our map. They'll probably lose their map. Or, if they win on Reckoner, who cares? But then the last map could be something that they actually favour, like a Process or Gully Wash or Snakewood, or Product that Full Tilt have lost on this tournament and didn't perform very well at all. I mean, they got smashed on those maps, so those are going to be like a weak point. They have found the weak point of Full Tilt, which is...
Are there any maps that Full Tilt haven't lost on yet this tournament?
That is a statistic that I could not have to hand. And
probably
in the essence of entertainment, time, and just being generally good-mannered, I don't think I can do that right now. Let me have a look.
That's all right, we'll wait for the end of the sentence. Hold on.
Going back to your pre-tournament spreadsheet of all the map picks and win-loss ratios, was there anything that you can remember standing out to you? Should I bring it up again?
Jasmine T was weird because obviously they were so domestically dominant. They had a really high win percentage on every map, except for Badlands, which they quite often lost against Ego. Also lost quite convincingly, which we also saw them lose against Froyotech earlier today.
Yeah.
So I would say that's their weakest map, but in a very loose sense of a word, weakest. Like, whereas with Full Tilt, even though they got beat heavily by Crowns, but Crowns seem very much almost unbeatable on Gully Wash. It's still a good map for them, Gully Wash, Full Tilt, and I think they might fancy that as well.
Although they did lose 6-1.
But to Crowns, this is Jasmine.
True.
Different teams.
Information about Reckoner, how we thought it was their best map. They lost 2 wind tunnel tactics on that very map. They did. So their best map, they lost against it, against what I could only describe as a bad team.
So what are you feeling now about Reckoner?
They didn't lose
What's
Granary,
the final verdict?
as far as I know. So they haven't lost a map on Granary, they haven't lost a map on Snakewater. So if they can somehow push those 2 maps, they might be happy. However, these are very, very, fine things that we probably won't expect to actually happen. So
well, it depends if Jasmine T know they lost Reckoner as well. Like they might not have seen it. They would have been playing comfortably spanked at the same time.
If only there was some sort of website that they could visit where they
but
could
do you think
find
they
all
did?
these.
Otherwise, Full Tilt can obviously just bait out the Reckoner ban. Or no, other way. Jasmine T can.
I reckon they've done their research.
Reckoner they have.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. That is a good one.
I mean, writing that one down.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Do we have an estimated time?
Can I get an action replay on that joke?
Oh, we have some people on the server. That is good.
Promising.
2 people. That is...
Can we get a look at the brackets, please? I just want to help visualize for the viewers
the journey of how these teams got here.
where we've come from and where we're going to. Here we are in the lower bracket. Jasmine T had a pretty easy one there against Comfortably Spike. We don't see the actual score, but they have strolled into this lower bracket game against Full Tilt, whereas Full Tilt struggled. We mentioned it. Product probably going to get banned. But Froyotech await them tomorrow. It's going to be the first game. I think we're starting in the afternoon tomorrow. No early morning start.
It is 1 o'clock British summer time.
Mark that down in your calendar.
So I had to work that out as I was going along. Grand finals at 1700 hours. That's army time.
Quite good in a lot of ways for the teams, because whichever team wins, obviously they have the rest of the night to prepare, and the the morning tomorrow
It's
to warm
also
up.
good and no excuses for either of them because it's a 1 p.m. start, so there is no sort of like, I'm tired, we got too drunk, it started at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is why we lost in about 15 minutes.
Who would make those kind of excuses?
Just idiots. That's what.
Fools and
Idiots.
failures.
Fools and failures
And
in
some
the eyes
Portuguese
of
people.
many. Yeah, and some Portuguese people that do nothing but chomp down on cottage cheese and disgust their teammates. Funnily enough, we were talking about Jasmine T versus Comfortably Spanked. As I said previously, my cracking joke, which I will repeat, they did comfortably spank them.
I think it's almost funny of a second time.
It is. I always find that is the best to reuse jokes. Such as, did you know that Crown struggled to get into the venue because the door said push? Oh, it cracks me up every time. Blimey. Mercy. But yeah, Snakewater was 6-1 to Jasmine T and 5-0 on Gollywash as well. So it was a very, very dominant performance from Jasmine T. So
Definitely coming in here as the fresher team. They've had a
they've had a break.
easy road.
They could have gone to one of the many food outlets. And etc. etc.
Like when we were looking at the head-to-heads, you could see they've actually played 2 less maps over the whole course of the tournament so far.
That is true. Is this the upper bracket?
This isn't
This
the...
is
This
the lower
is
bracket,
the
my
upper
friend.
bracket. I see that by reading. No, it's not. It's
It's the
lower
losers
bracket.
bracket.
It's the lower bracket.
I prefer to
see
call it the
that.
lower
He's-
bracket,
he's
but we've got
only learnt
losers
to-
bracket here.
he's
You know, I
only
think that's a little harsh, you know.
He's
We're all
only learned
winners
to
here.
read today, okay? Give him a break. This is like he's the 5th thing he's ever read.
Yeah, that is true. I am still just learning. So on the losers bracket that we have still got displayed, and not the upper bracket that I have asked repeatedly. There it is. They've finally listened to me. Maybe they'll get the Danish pastry that I asked for on the first day.
It's been shipped all the way from Denmark. It will take a while.
Yeah, obviously these are probably not updated because Crowns did beat Froyotech and they have advanced to the finals, so they're going to get a nice snooze. They're probably going to.
They're not going to be snoozing, man. You know, Coach Cadis is going to be there with his notepad, watching all these games.
Yeah, they're going to go back
picking
to
them
the
apart.
same hotel, go through the demos, look at the VODs, see what they can pick up on, and then once they've analysed that, I'm pretty sure Cadis will get them all a nice cup of warm milk, get them all in their Jimmy Jams, some
Tuck 'em
bye-bye
in,
crowns, and
pat
tuck
on
them
the
in.
head, read him a bedtime
Read 'em a
story.
book, yeah. I've heard that they've actually bought a gazebo, and that's where they're all staying as a team building exercise. They had to build it together. They'll take it down together, and that's ultimately the story of this LAN, is that teamwork prevails.
And gazebos aren't necessary because it's raining.
That's why it's a gazebo. It shelters you from the rain. And if they get damp and hypothermia, they can just snuggle up to each other.
Guys, got some map info here in Slack.
Wowzers.
I don't actually know the bands or anything. It's all our theory crafting. We're not.
We'll just
But-
presume we were right.
I can tell you that the first map is going to be Granary.
Okay.
The second map is going to be Snakewater.
Okay.
And the third map is going to be Gullywash. So
Interesting.
I think
all
that's quite
maps
strong for full tilt.
we felt could be played are
How
going to be
did that
played.
happen?
That is quite interesting. That is, how did that happen? Because these are maps that Full Tilt have not lost yet, apart from Gullywash. So if they are able to close it out in 2 maps, they will obviously win.
2 maps is all they need to win.
That's seems very simple, but are we actually
We make
getting,
it sound easy, but it's actually a lot more difficult.
we're getting
in the
the
game.
pick bands now. So Jasmine banned Reckoner. Unsurprising, I guess, but I would have thought that they would have played some mind games. Full Tilt banned Viaduct.
We are
Understandably.
goddamn excellent analysts. Called it.
Yep.
Pats on the
Jasmine
backs.
picked Granary. That is quite interesting, though, especially as that is the map that they kind of like threw on against.
But they were strong on it, right
They
up
were.
until they made that unnecessary Uber push.
Yeah, until they lost it. They were very strong until they lost the game.
It was going great
Should have parked the bus.
Yeah.
until they lost.
On
They-
2-2,
yeah.
played for the golden cap.
Full Tilt, then picked Snake. Well, yeah, and obviously Jasmine banned Badlands, which is
It's their weakest map domestically, and they've lost once. I'm not sure if I'd say it's their weakest map, but it's clearly if it's the only map you've really lost during your domestic season, and then you've lost it at LAN, maybe you're just not feeling confident on it, and
yeah.
you just want to take it out of the equation.
Yeah,
Play something you're more comfortable
And
in.
I guess Badlands is probably like again, it's a puggy map. It's a map for teams that may be more disorganized because, you know, they've played it so much. So it might be sort of, you know, we'll take them out of a map that could be comfortable for them.
It's kind of weird though that like Badlands, such a open and fast, dynamic map, isn't the map that Jasmine T, a team who are selling themselves as the hyper-aggressive team, don't want to play.
I think it's just trying to take them out of their comfort zone as much as possible, and nothing does that more than picking Gullywash, which is, you know, the map that they've selected. And as we can see, there is
Here they are.
Jasmine, Camilo T there.
The smiles have gone away, guys. They got the game faces on. Earlier on, it was all jokes, biceps being flexed, but now
Is that a black eye I see on Dave?
That's
The
what
involuntary arm
happens
movements.
when you drop too many Ubers. You get punished. I heard in the hotel they all went in with bars of soap in their pillows and
their pillowcases. Yeah.
have at him.
We've got 12 in the server, guys. I know you'd love to stay here with us for more analysis, but I guess we'll have to throw it over to our casters. Arx Beta, take it away, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Great job as always. So this is the business end of the tournament, Arx.
You lose, you're
Lower
going home.
round 3, loser going home. The winner will go on to play Froyo Tech for the consolation final, deciding that 3rd place. Then, of course, the winner of that going on to play none other than Crown. Well, Sunday. What time is that? 4 o'clock? 5 o'clock?
What, in the grand final?
That's right, grand final. So it starts at 5, but meantime, it's lower round 3. As the gents have just done a good job, so we've got firstly Granary, followed by Snakewater, and if needed, it's going to be Gullywash. Arx, we saw Jasmine T versus Froyo Tech earlier on this. They actually lost this first map at Granary.
I mean, they lost it, but it went down to a golden cap against possibly the favourites, one of the favourites of the tournament.
Well, let's see how they do. So this is Multiply's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. Lower round 3, Jasmine T versus Full Tilt. We are your hosts, Team Fortress TV's Arx and Beta. Map 1 coming to you. Arx, run us through that first Granary mid.
So Demo Men, as always, first into the point, both taking different routes this time. As we'll have a look as Paulson takes quite a big hit, but pressure up on the roof. Demo Man of Valley is really, really weak. Now we are seeing that we do have Dave go down very, very early. They need to turn up the heat here if they're going to survive, as a sustained fight is going to be really bad for them. Can they get the medic down as well? Cost surviving in the corner, scouts onto him. A lot of damage. Soldier also comes around the corner, does manage to take him down, but in return it cost all of the Jasmine T's lives. And, well, Full Tilt are going to be taking this midpoint.
Yeah, they're ready on the second CP as well, Arx, at the 4th. Mike's already gone aggressive up on top, waiting for anyone to come in. Wonder if they know where he is there. Obviously, still didn't go for the second CP, so interesting to see if they still want to come in. Here we go, they're coming in below now. It's been called. Perfectly called there. So Jasmine T, lost 3 players trying to get down, cost the medic. Does mean they don't come in with an Uber charge, Arx, and get rolled pretty easily.
I wonder if he heard the rocket jump for him getting up there.
Maybe.
Here the rocket jump predicted the location, but that does mean that Jasmine T are pushing out into this yard area. Geo has gone down. That might at least prompt them to fall back, as they know that Mike should be in position before Geo gets back. And are Full Tilt going to use this? Surely they can see that they've fallen out of yard and they're going to take that area. Unless they believe some sort of baiting tactics are going on.
Yeah, a little bit delayed, probably waiting for Mike to rejoin the Marks.
But you would have thought that the info would have come out saying, hey, there's no one in the yard, let's take it.
Yeah, but there was no one there forward enough to call it, probably. But
yeah, I guess.
Let's just see where Jasmine are setting up for the defense then. So it's just madness on the right-hand side, setting up for that garage area. Paulson, obviously, Sticky's on main as well. Does look like Full Tilt wanting to come in that garage area. So Soldier in already. Did I see a Soldier in there? Yeah, he did.
Lentis is up top.
Yeah, Lentis did go up top. I'm not sure if that was called. Must have been called. The rest of the team now rotating in. See if where the Stickies are on point. Nothing in particular, obviously, just in front of the Z on the plate. Just a lot of spam coming up. Looks like Soldier of Geo is going to take down Mike, coming up behind him.
Nice jump.
And Jasmine looked like they're fancy trying to get out. Stickied up all the way out on the left-hand side. Will someone just take the hit and move forward? Does look like they are, but they lose Zaka trying to get out.
It's a bit of a big hit, that one. As Zaka does go down after some great play defending up top. And that is prompting the push to at least go in. There are Stickies over onto the door, so anyone coming in through that entrance might get a
eliminated. But for now, they're just trying to ease their way on over to the point. Soldier, Demoman trying to trade some spam. I don't think they're going to be able to get in here without using an Ubercharge. The controlled spam from Jasmine T is really, well, it's working out really well for them. And yeah, it looks like Full Tilt having to fall back, just get healed up, and then round 2.
Yeah, Jasmine have done a good job there, actually. Just watching Mike at the moment, he's still trying in that, getting that garage area. He's actually there already, setting up a lot of spam. Faylash there also helping out up top, to the med pack area. Nothing too much going on, just quite a lot of coordinated spam at the moment, but Full Tilt are gradually getting more presence on that point. Someone will need to come down and block, and it's going to be Geo. Front Uber have been popped by both teams. Not certain if anyone had a true advantage there. Salentis goes up top. He might be isolated 2-on-1. He is isolated. He goes down. And again, maybe now Full Tilt will probably just drop out, which they have Arx, because they just don't have those damage dealers.
Yeah, while Salentis was up top, they weren't getting any time on the capture point. There was a great zonal spam coming out from the Demoman, and Jasmine T using this opportunity to push out. But I'm worried if Full Tilt don't fall back to this. Here we go. They're rotating round aggressive soldier play. He didn't get the best of jumps. As does go down by Yui in return. Ali takes him down. But it looks like that Full Tilt are having to fall back. They have lost 2 players. Momentum's all going with Jasmine T here. Are they going to push through to mid? I'm wondering if some sort of back cap is an option. It doesn't look like anybody's in position to do that, as now they make their way into this midpoint. Mike having to retreat back up onto the crates. He's really low health. He's surely going to absorb a load of his medic's time. Oh no, crossbow shot comes in, heals him up as he jumps now aggressively just to force them out, and Jasmine T sensibly fall back.
Good defense there in the mid, kept the height. Both the soldiers of Mike and Salentis kept the height, so anything coming in the air was pretty much dealt with easily, and spam. Both Ubers being forced in that, used in that yard. Back cap going on, both scouts go back for it, and Jasmine falling back. Will they get sticky off? No, they want Uber still flashing people through that hole, and well, it's only Zaka that's lost in the end.
Balash, yeah, taking him down up top. That was the scout that got in behind. It was a great move, because just touching that point immediately forced all of Jasmine T to move out position, as now they're still trying to edge their way into this point, getting a little bit of time on it, but again, the Demoman pressure coming out from Jasmine T here is preventing them from getting any time on that point. They're going to have to commit to a full all-in push if they want to even get any time on that point, by the looks of things.
Yeah, we saw Froyo struggle earlier on trying to get past this second CP defense of Jasmine. It is quite a sort of very choky, spammy point to get, and they're doing a good job at the moment, Arx. Quite a fairly long round, really, after the disastrous mid-fight for Jasmine. They seem to have recovered well.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Uber charges are now both up, so we can see full committal pushes. It looks like they're sort of... They haven't decided which way they're going to go in yet. They're just trying to probe it, see if they can get an opening at all. But for now, it's not really working. But they're in no hurry. The game is still, well, over 24 minutes remaining. So they can take it slow, hopefully get a pick. It's whether or not they act off of that pick when they get it.
Yeah, it's still fancy. Oh, for the demo is going to get caught, but it's 2 players down by Jasmine. Yuri and Paulson both going down. Surely, Uber comes in to try and block the point. Counter Uber coming in, and Full Tilt will have a significant advantage on that Uber. Dave goes down in the background as well, so there's a medic down. 3 players down for Jasmine. And will someone try and come in and block? It's going to be Zaka who gets destroyed on that point. It's a complete wipe, and this will be the first round for Full Tilt.
It is so costly to lose your Demoman on that second CP when you're trying to defend, and to lose them that early before the Ubers were even out, it just meant suddenly that sustained spam that was keeping them in position throughout that entire attack was gone. At that point, it was almost an easy walk-in for Full Tilt, and yeah, 1-0 is the score because of it.
Yeah, so Jasmine won't be too disheartened from this. Did actually come back against Froyo, basically coming back all the way on some of these earlier maps. Again, though, will Granary be the sort of thorn in them today, because they're having lost earlier against Froyo, they won't want to lose this, especially going a map behind on this actual true elimination part of the tournament. So here we go, the next mid-fight. Arx, walk us through it.
Double jump from Mike off of the wall, trying to go in aggressive, takes down Paulson, big pick early on. A lot of attention was drawn up into the air as well, as but it looks like Jasmine T are managing to come back on this. They did manage to take down Mike, Salentes, and Ast really quickly after Mike went down, and they are pushing forward very aggressively, capping out that midpoint now, and wow, 2 players might be down even for this next push.
Yeah, Jasmine are already there, right? So they're on the 4th CP or the 2nd CP.
Full Tilt have to give it up. Their Demoman hasn't even spawned yet. He's still got 4 seconds on the spawn, and that point has been taken. They do have their Uber charge as well. Well, they're about to have it very, very shortly, so we can expect possibly a quick push.
Maybe, well, hold that fort. Faylash running sniper, and they're also As running heavy. Gonna obviously slow them down, so that's slow Jasmine down, but also slow Full Tilt down. So if they manage to get the pick, they will not be able to push out too quickly here. Interesting enough, Geo is running Spy. I'm not sure if that's called. Interesting enough, that's of course one of the soldiers gone for Jasmine though. Feeling fairly confident Arx they can deal with the spam. In fact, hold that fort. It looks like he was thinking about coming back to switch, but we'll see. Yeah,
it's interesting because he did walk all the way back out of the point. And I was going to say, actually, the spy pick's quite unusual because it's very early in the game. People aren't necessarily comfortable. They look like they were on the front foot to have a spy. I don't think Full Tilt would predict that at this point. He is stuck on spy for the time being, though. Door's just trying to get opened up here. Scout, again, trying to clear the stickies so that he can get out. But he's taken a couple of hits, and I'm wondering if they're aware of this.
Well, he's still disguised as friendly soldier. Using that cloak now. Madness goes down in the background.
That was the scout that opened the door, which is quite that's almost fine because it's like, okay, the guy who came out of the door, he got eliminated. Now let's see if he can do anything.
He's been called. He's been called. Yeah, I'm quite certain he's been called.
They're certainly spamming behind as though they must know that there is a spy in place, and
we'll see. We're going on very quiet, so we're very interested to see what happens here. Faylash in the background has gone very aggressive actually on the far left-hand door, looking into the garage area. Let's see if he manages to get onto that heavy.
I mean, the best thing that Geo could do right now...
No one's looking at him though, Arx. No one's looking at him.
No, I think they've almost... Maybe they don't believe that he's in yet. But I think almost the best thing that he could do now is just wait for the full push to come in. Don't try and get the pick early. Just once the fight's actually started, he's been spotted now, he's down. I was going to say, his team could have pushed in and then he could have tried to get a flank mid-combat from behind, because obviously everybody will be looking forward at that point. But while they're looking for him, he must have known that players were looking for him because they were firing rockets behind him and just... I think he could have done a lot better being in that position already behind enemy lines. Yeah. So still very early in this first map, still over 20 minutes remaining. And as you can Mike is down, and that has prompted the push in. Uber pop very early as Zaka's trying to confront the heavy. He's going to have to jump out of here, but I'm not sure if he's going to get out. Rocket jumps appear to be quite failed as they're falling out after losing that soldier.
Yeah, it's not really worked out, and I'm just looking at the respawns. It looks like Full Tilt fancy Arx, and yeah, Jasmine have fallen back out. That's CP. They will not be happy with that. Really good result for the Full Tilt's defense.
Yep, so there we go. Second point has been retrieved from Full Tilt. Are they going to be able to carry this momentum forward? They're at a slight Uber disadvantage, but I think they probably believe that it's even. And to be honest, when you're talking 10%, 15%, it often doesn't come into play. But let's see if Jasmine T are going to try and hold that warehouse, the garage area even, or if they are just going to fall back and sit up top in 3.
Yeah, I think we still want to see a little bit more aggressiveness from Jasmine. Again, they potentially gave them that CP back for free there without really committing too many people. Let's just see what they fancy. Again, a little bit of stalemate. Stickies on the other side have been called quite rightly from Yui, as the medics still jump through before they were all destroyed. That said, they have managed to get on that left-hand side. They always favour that left-hand side. Mike goes down in the background. Uber has been popped by both teams pretty much exactly the same time, though. Looks like Full Tilt will have a slight advantage, looking to hunt down the people who haven't been flashed. 2 players go down in the background. Aston Salentes. So that's both soldiers
3 down.
Yeah, 3 down now for Full Tilt, and Jasmine should really be pushing to last Arx if they want to make the most of this. And they are. Here we go. Gio's going to jump in from the pipe area. Hasn't been called just yet. Heavy has been deployed. The Thomas Lab. Mike coming in to block, picking up 2 big kills. Gio coming down from the top. It's 2-on-2 on this final point, but looks like Jasmine are going to have to fall out. Let's just see, and it is only Dave remaining. Can he escape? Ast is all over him, and no, and it's a wipe from Jasmine there. Failed push number 2 for Jasmine.
Full Tilt played that so well. They had a numbers disadvantage. They were only ever having one of their players blocking the point at a time. Mike jumped in aggressively, landed on the point. When he walked off, we had the demo man jump onto the point after him of Ali, and then straight afterwards, Heavy walked on the point as soon as Ali was forced to walk off of it. They played that defense perfectly, and yeah, again, I think that was very much to do with them and not Jasmine messing up the push. That was just a great hold.
Yep. Well, they're not all over yet. Still plenty of time remaining. This is a best-of-3 series, lower round 3. So the loser of this will be going home. The winner goes on to play Froyo Tech in the Constellation Final tomorrow morning. So still a lot to play for. Map following this will be Snakewater if it's needed. Garly Wash will follow. So probably we'll see. I mean, we saw a very, very close game earlier between Jasmine and WARHURYEAH take on Granary. It actually went to Golden Cap with WARHURYEAH winning. And that's they lost on Gullywash as well, I believe. So let's just see how it goes. Arx, it looks like a couple of players being isolated here through that choke point, but it's actually Geo that takes the full hits and goes down. They all seem to favour that left-hand side, don't they?
They certainly do, and I believe it's an interesting way to attack. You get that slight height advantage coming in, and you know that players aren't going to be all up on the rooftops waiting for you to come in. But now it looks like
full tilt on the right-hand
making
side.
a push through. They have got that pick over onto Yui, and Salentas jumping in aggressively. Forces that Uber out, takes health pack. Can he get out of it? We've got Paulson trying to deal work over on the point, but he's forced to retreat up top and, well, just regain with his medic. But let's see if they're able. They're not going to hold
Jasmine
this.
is struggling. Yeah, Jasmine is struggling. So what happened there, I think it was the scout of the Yui wasn't looking at the right-hand side, so full tilt pretty much got in for free without being called. And before they knew about it, it was too late. One of the players had gone down, and Sony players going to be caught in that front spawn. They do switch for a moment then. I thought it was going to be 3 down, but fortunately it was called. But they will, and they should get this second fairly quickly. They just need to play a little bit more aggressively, Arx. But again, just slowing it down, happy to be patient, wait for the whole team to be there, and just wait, take their time.
Well, knowing that a couple of players had to change spawn, you should know that you're going to have a brief numbers advantage. And it looked like they were pushing in, trying to take that 4th CP, but they just couldn't get enough spam out and force them back. So decent hold by Jasmine T there. They are sat inside. Both teams do have their Uber charges now. Mike does go down. Madness in reply also down, so that's 1 apiece. I'm not sure if that favors the attackers or defenders, but to be honest, it's quite a difficult point to attack that I don't know if Full Tilt are going to go for this.
Yeah, well, Yui's running sniper would have been called now as well, so he's just defending from the back left area. Imagine they may want to just see if they can force it out so they don't have to give up too much of the point. Just see where Full Tilt fancying the upper right area through the med pack and the stairs, but again, just falling back out. No rush today, Arx, no rush. Still plenty of map time left, just over 15 minutes. Still 1-0 the score in Full Tilt's favour on Granary. And what point, Arx, do you start thinking, actually we can't play so passive? Is it the 10-minute mark? Is it the 5-minute mark?
I mean, it depends on if you're behind or in front. Because at the moment, Full Tilt, they're the ones in the lead. They don't have to get this round back.
Oh, here we go.
But yeah, a lot of spam coming out. Again, it was an exchange, but no commitment yet.
Yeah, nothing too in particular. Mike's still trying to creep in that garage area on the far left-hand side. Obviously, another soldier there waiting for him to come in. It appears to be Zaka just on the mid pack. So fully well covered. Jasmine pretty well. Here we go. So Zaka's up there. It looks like it's going to be Salentas that wins that fight. So someone will have to rotate, and it's going to be the other soldier.
That's surely got to be the push here.
They've got to, well, if they want to try it, there's another soldier down. Gio's pretty weak. But again, Arx taking their time.
But if they're not pushing after 1 pick, then does that mean the criteria is 2 picks? Like, they've got Uber, they've got 1 pick, they've got that advantage. I know a few players were pretty low, but they've certainly delayed that push. And that is huge defense from Paulson. Mike does go down along with As. That's 2 players down. That's 2 picks. We've seen Jasmine push off of 2 picks before, and surely they are going to be making their way out. Sticky point. Oh, Zaka gets caught by a sticky trap outside as he was, well, trying to push out. So that is 1 down, but are they still pushing into mid?
Yeah,
Gio
Gio's
getting
on point.
over, forcing the Uber, counter Uber's in. Bearing in mind the forward spawns are going to be coming in, and Zaka's not going to be there for quite a while. Medic and Soldier are really isolated here. Mike might actually take down the Medic. No, gets 1 long distance rocket on him. Gio does manage to fall back and join up with his team, and Mike does go down in reply. But crucially, they weren't able to take that midpoint back.
No, they interesting. At least they went for it. Arx. I'm glad I didn't play too passive there. They're quite happy to probably just hold that yard area. It looks like they're in on the right, Arx. They're on the right, so Salentas goes over to cover, getting that height advantage to be jumped up. Now it's the turn of the soldier of Gio to come up top. Paulson down.
Ali down in reply.
Ali down as well. So both Demoman down on this fight, and now it's the turn of Full Tilt to fall out, Arx, giving them a bit for relatively 3, or even though it was 5-on-5.
I mean, Jasmine T, we saw in the last time that they played Granary, they're very slow at their pushes. It is very consistent as they push through, but they wait for clear-cut opportunities. They're not really high-risk, high-reward
Uber's
team.
been popped. Uber's been popped, so Full Tilt have used their Uber there. Little bit just after Jasmine. We've missed that just on the left-hand side. I guess it was just to save the soldier of Maiko, who I believe it was. But nothing's happened for the Arx. So again, no change in positioning. No one went down. Neither team capitalizing on that Medic's Uber.
Yes, Thalash there going down over onto the left-hand side. That has allowed Jasmine to push through. They are certainly on the front foot here, pushing Full Tilt back to their second CP, as now they're grouping up top. Mike's going there, but he's going to get a face full of soldier. Nope, he does manage to escape. I was thinking he needed one more rocket to connect him. Might have juggled him up in the air. Mike very weak, having to fall back, and that's surely allowing them to take this point. There's no Uber charge ready yet, so Full Tilt are stuck back on their last.
Yeah, it's only a very slight Uber advantage for Full Tilt. They wouldn't have known that. Let's just see what they're setting up on their defense. Heavy being deployed. Still running Tomislav, I imagine. So, let's just see. So, yeah, unsurprisingly, Heavy on the pipe up top. Very far back, making sure that anyone that does jump on him, he has a decent amount of time to get some spray onto him. Looks like they're setting up for the top push Arx.
It certainly does. Yui going in aggressive, distracting the soldiers.
Oh, missed the jump.
Falls off of the pipe. He's having to go airborne. Double air jump even gets taken down. That is 2 players down for Jasmine. Are Full Tilt going to push off of this? They've seen the numbers. They've got good health, but it doesn't look like they're taking the initiative to push up.
So much time on point Arx.
Yeah,
they're just too concerned. It would just take one person to get through, and it's
a very good spot, actually.
1-all.
It's way too high risk for them to do it. If a soldier jumps through the window, you can cap it instantly.
Even for a second, yeah. I mean, probably I would have personally thought maybe you could have left the Heavy on last there, with the spawners coming in.
Yeah, would you fancy your chances, though, Heavy against, say, a soldier and a scout even jumping in
like you said, it
aggressively?
comes down to they're winning the game as well.
Yeah.
So it's still 1-0. Here you go, another chance for Jasmine to come on for a Geo this time, using the Uber to get jump through. He gets taken down by Salentes, and Jasmine just happy to wait for that front spawn again. But will Full Tilt let them Arx?
Again, from the previous game that we watched with Jasmine on Granary, they were very bad at pushing this last point. They failed so many attempts.
Oh, there's 2 players on the back cap here, Arx. No, they both get taken down. In fact, it was Yuri and Zaka both get taken down.
There we go.
3 players down now for Jasmine, and another good, solid defense from Full Tilt. Looking strong on Granary.
It seems to be that when Jasmine they haven't got any momentum pushing forward, and they're not going straight from the fourth to the last, that they are struggling to capture out that last point. But if they manage to, say, wipe them on mid, cap fourth, and then push immediately, they seem to do quite well. And it's really starting to suffer because they've had a number of attempts at trying to cap that last point, and it's just not working for them.
Yeah, Jasmine falling all the way out here because Full Tilt have a pretty hefty Uber advantage, still 30%. And there we go, it has been popped. Paulson and Zaka both going down. Only Yui still trying to defend that second CP, but it's not really worked out for them. Only just managing to get Geo, but it's still 3 players down. They won't be able to use any of that advantage of the Uber because it's gone. But Arx, they still might push on this. And here we go. Here comes the counter Uber. Koss gets taken down. It's onto Madness, who takes down Ali as well. Still, Faylash still behind him. And the soldier there defending that CP. They haven't got it back, Arx, have they?
No, it certainly doesn't look like it. As Medic does go down. That's Dave down. Is this going to prompt a push? I mean, there are only 3 players alive, but they're doing work. Zaka goes down. Poulsen's under pressure from the scouts. He's going to have to connect some of these pipes, but Soldier comes in to back him up, and Poulsen escapes on very, very low health there. Wow. Yeah,
a lot of individual death matching going on there. Jasmine still holding on to that third CP. 4-2 Arx that look like they're in. Are they in for free? In for free, yeah. They've actually fell back a lot. I mean, Zaka won't even be able to make that jump with Ast up there to block him. And if Mike comes in as well, which hasn't been killed, he's now coming on the right-hand side. Madness goes down. Faylash in return. And here comes Mike on the right-hand side. Should be able to take care of that soldier onto point. It's Geo there.
Oh, nice.
Ali goes down. So it's still a 3-on-4 battle on this midpoint. But will the medic get caught? Dave does go down. And it's 5 players down for Jasmine. And that is a wipe from Jasmine. Full Tilt. I think they just got in for free Arx. No one noticed they were there.
Koss taking down Yui there with the crossbow kill, just saving him. It looked like it was going to be a medic trade, but, well, Koss coming out on top in that one, at least on that team. And yeah, that is it's certainly interesting. We're going to have to see Jasmine defending on their last. They have opted for that already. They're conceding that 4th point before they've even got there. They've got an engineer. So they're going.
They need to stop the Uber Arx. They need to get the Uber out early, and they're doing the right thing. They're not going to give them that second TP for free, but interesting enough, without that full force of the team there, it's going to be a 6-on-4. So, you know, we'll see. And here we go. And that is not going to help. Geo goes down immediately. It's only taken down the demo. Feilash just trying to do his best. But Full Tilt, what on earth is going on that second CP? Overextended. Didn't want to use the Uber. In the end, they did have to use it. But they lost 4 players actually getting that. And Silentes went too aggressive as well. And, in fact, we're looking at Full Tilt. They've conceded that second point arc. So they're going to fall out. Yeah, maybe should have used that Uber a little bit earlier, making sure they got it, and then worried about the next point. 1 point at a time.
That's it. I'm surprised Jasmine took so long to push out. At least they are in the yard area. It looks like, well, the yard's certainly being contested at the moment. I think the aggressive jump from Geo should surely force Full Tilt back over on the left-hand side, and it looks like it has done its job. So for the time being, oh, here comes the Uber charge from Jasmine T. They are pushing aggressive. Ali gets taken down. Silentes falls down. He takes a big hit, forced double jump. Both soldiers, in fact, retreating. No time. No one sitting on the point for the time being. And I'm wondering if Full Tilt are going to make a push back into this mid. It looks like they're just content to hold the yard for now. Just peeking through. Yes, that's it. They are giving up that point for now. But the Uber was used. And, well, Full Tilt have theirs.
Yeah, so no Uber sync at the moment. It's probably the best bit of... when you can get to commentate these type of games where there is no sync at all, because we get a lot more crazy plays. And here we go. So Uber has been used. Jasmine going to try and push in on the right-hand side, complete opposite side. Will that demo man get caught?
This is interesting.
Here we go. Soldiers jumping in onto Paulson. 3 players down for Jasmine. There's a 4th. Will it be a complete wipe? It's only Zaka remaining on 12 health. Is he being hunted? No.
There's a scout coming up behind him, though. He's surely finish him off. Zaka does take down Ali before he went down, but that is 2 players sitting on the midpoint. They're on reasonable health as well, but the forward spawns might come into play here. It's only ×2. The soldier's taking his sweet time to get onto the point. ×3 there. Forward spawns are there. They surely are going to push into this. They know the time. Can they get in there and block? Soldiers, demo men flying over. This is going to be perfect sync. Are they? They're not going to block the capture. So forward spawn switches are going to come in for Full Tilt, but at least they will regain this capture point.
Yeah, interesting enough, actually. So they know, so Jasmine know that they have a significant lack of Ubercharge advantage now. They have switched to Kritzkrieg.
Indeed.
So you can see Kritzkrieg, bottom left corner of your screen, building very fast, and in fact about to overtake that Ubercharge, but will they have it soon enough? It will need that sweet sticky or something. And Arx, as I talk, the advantage is gone.
It may be an advantage, but again, the element of surprise can come into it.
Here
so
goes
let's have a watch. In comes the stickies!
Nothing at all.
Only a little bit of damage out on one player, and that was basically it. Ali does go down. In the process, Paulson and Zaka down. They're surely going to come in now. Even though they don't have the Uber advantage, they know they have the numbers advantage, and they are getting some time on the point. It looked like Yui was trying to go in behind, but Silentes had the back cap covered, and they are comfortably taking this midpoint back.
So now, so Full Tilt will have that midpoint. We still have 9.5, just under 10 minutes remaining. I beg your pardon. So I read the round time, round time. So it's actually 4.5 minutes remaining. So Jasmine T do have one distinct advantage now. Their Kritzkrieg is completely out of sync of that Ubercharge, and there could be a chance for them to use it. But
they need to make this
count, it quick. And look where Mike is as well.
Oh, Demo's down, though. Sticky trap up top, caught him out. So they've had to go with crits on the soldier instead. They were trying to crit the Demo man, but now rockets are coming in hopelessly. Long-range blind efforts crossing the point. And now a massive Uber advantage.
Look where Zaka is as well.
Is on the midpoint as well. Zaka trying to get in and force that Uber. Doesn't even touch the medic with a rocket. And that is huge. If Full Tilt take this round, there's only going to be about 3 minutes remaining. Can they get in and try and take this 4th capture point? Still with their Ubercharge, everything is in their favor at the moment. Kritzkrieg is only at 51%. There's going to be no quick stickies coming in. Balash does go down very early. The Uber is popped as they are pushing through, trying to cut them off the door. They haven't yet got any players capturing the point, which would really help them out to get any forward spawns or anything. They're trying now, and, well, the Kritzkrieg only 85%.
Yeah, I imagine the best result here for Jasmine would be obviously to get in without using that crits. But here we go, crits are in. And again, nothing connects. It's not working with Jasmine today with those crits.
They're getting the point
Demo
back.
man coming out. Is it going to work? No, but Arx now, again, we're going to see a flipper situation. Full Tilt will have that Uber versus nothing. And in fact, I just saw a heavy of Feilash coming in to completely shut this down. It looks like Silentes came in to try and block, and Jasmine's still losing players. With that heavy there, it's going to require so much focus fire. And Uber nearly ready to go, but will crits be built in time?
They've got the focus. That was it. Some great kills there. Jasmine doing a great job. I was going to say earlier that actually, yeah, that's
Cost
almost
as
a wipe.
well.
That's almost a wipe. Medic going down as well. They're going to have a massive crits creek advantage. I was going to say actually that you would have paid, you would have traded an Uber charge to get that objective back. The fact that it's a crit screen and they didn't get kills didn't matter because they were still able to take that outside their second CP back. That then allowed them to push out into the yard and just have a straight-up deathmatch fight without really losing any players either. So it worked out great for them. Now they've got a massive advantage, basically a free crit creek that if they used it quickly, they might even get crit creek at the same time that Full Tilt get their Uber charge up.
Still go with the demo Arx, would you, on the crits? We're going to find out. Here we go. Full Tilt will be well aware of this.
Watch out, the soldier up top behind him. He's on the medic. Takes down Dave. Mike sat up top in the little secret hallway area thing. As are they still going to be able to push him without a medic? If they are, they need to do this quickly. They've certainly got the spam. They've got the positioning. They're going to take back the point. There's no counter Uber either to come in, and they do take that fourth objective. 2
minutes left. They will not, well, I'll be very, very surprised if Full Tilt obviously come pushing and it's just seeing what their defense is. Again, Engineer. You can hear the SG going up in the background, but no heavy this time. Uber at 80%, and it looks like Jasmine have switched back to normal regular Uber Arx. So they know that probably Full Tilt won't risk it. 1 minute and 30 seconds left of this map. They know Full Tilt will not risk it. Go all or nothing. It is 1-0 the score, still in favour of Full Tilt, and we will have a golden tap, but that is not going to help. Zaka gets taken down. That's just Full Tilt delaying even further, Arx.
Well, with the Engineer and Heavy, there's just no point in them trying to push out. Jasmine have not had great success trying to push this last capture point in a full 6 versus 6 Uber versus Uber situation. Their success rate may be 1 in like 10 pushes or something ridiculous. And Full Tilt probably know this as they are quite happy just to sit back on their last capture point.
They're going to have to do it.
They're running out of time as well. I mean, if they're not going to make a push now, they're not going to get a second push afterwards.
Correct,
So in they go at the moment. Soldier is putting a bit of pressure on them up top, and actually Salente's doing a great job forcing them back. He might get a bit of pressure on him. Demoman getting some spam over onto him, took him down to a third health.
They're going
but
to
again,
do one more.
No push. They are rotating round now, trying the left-hand door. There's a sticky trap, which has been blown away by the Demoman. They are making their way in. They know there's an SG. SG is going to go down without even firing a single shot, but the Engineer does swap out to it.
Uber is in.
Time on the point now. Are they going to do this? There's only 30 seconds remaining. Uber versus Uber is popped. Demoman goes airborne. Salente's chasing him through the air as well. A lot of pressure going out onto the medic. Let's see if they're going to have the numbers here. 2 quick kills in succession. 4 Full Tilt.
It's going to be close.
3 versus 4 here at the moment. Soldiers juggled in the air. They're not going to do it. 13 seconds remaining on the clock. Full Tilt look like they are going to take this round, bar a miracle. And great defense from the Full Tilt team.
Yeah, so Full Tilt showing us how it's done on Granary. 1-0 going to be the final score in this first map. Lower round 3 Arx, 1-0 advantage. That's the type of thing you want in going into a second map. No one likes to be on the other side of that, do they?
No, most certainly not. It's I mean, it was only a 1-0 score. It's very tight, but there's just something about them trying to push those last points. Jasmine just aren't having success with them.
Is it potentially? Well, in fact, let's not do the analysis for our analysts. So
they're the professionals.
We'll hand over to them. It'll be Snakewater following on from Granary in just a moment, and then obviously Jasmine need to win that Arx. Need to win that, otherwise it's literally Australians going home.
Yeah, it is. This is all or nothing. They now have one map for their tournament life. They need to fight for it.
Yeah, I mean Do you think they can do it? Snakewater.
I think they've got the fight in them. They've flown a long way. They better have the fight in them. I know a lot of people are certainly rooting for them, so we'll have to see. Snakewater.
Come on then, hold on 1 minute. Crowd, who are you with? Crowd, who are you with? Jasmine T, give us a cheer. Oh.
There's a few.
Oh. Full Tilt, give us a cheer. Full Tilt, give us a cheer.
There's about 2 people. Right.
Well, it looks like we are not going to our analysts because it appears that the second map has...
They've all been fired.
Well, it's a false restart. It looks like they were going to be starting immediately. So, gentlemen, we'll have to hold that analysis, I think. They're not taking a break. I like these guys. Here we go, actually. So we're going to ready up. Apologies, gentlemen. We're going to ready up for the second map immediately. So this is Multiplay's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition. Lower round 3, second map coming at you. Jasmine T versus Full Tilt. And Team Fortress TV's Arx and Beta bringing it to you. We're still on camera because they keep on doing false restarts. So, in fact, unless everyone's running engineer, I don't know. Are we taking a break?
New meta.
Yeah, well, yeah. Doesn't appear like we're making a break. Interesting. Arx, would you take a break?
I think after a 1-0 game, it's quite tiring, but you just want to get on with it, wouldn't you? It's not like you're exhausted. It's just a lot of waiting around trying to get picks and things. So I think they just want to get on.
Okay.
Get on and play. It's been a long day. Let's just start. Let's play some video games.
Well, they're probably well aware of the result, the end result of this. So, I mean, maybe Full Tilt just want to get on with it, or maybe Jasmine T. Maybe some people were realizing actually it's nearly 10 to 8. I haven't had my dinner yet.
Some people.
Some people, yeah, me. No. Haven't had my dinner yet, and well, it's getting to that point in the game where the day, actually, it's been a long day, so maybe they just want to get on with it, Arx.
Yeah,
the question is, from what you've just seen there, do you think that Jasmine can do something a little bit differently?
I think this map, I mean, again, it's quite a hard last point to push. And if they can't sort out that issue, that you don't win rounds unless you can push that final point. So other than that, Jasmine T have been playing very, very well. I think they just need to solve that problem.
Yeah. So here we go then. This is that second map I promised you. It is starting. CP Snakewater going to be the second map of this lower round 3. Multiplayer's i58 Team Fortress 2 competition brought to you by Team Fortress TV's Arx and Beta and the whole production crew behind us.
And Dashner
potentially our last cast of Team Fortress 2, so we dedicate this cast to Dashner. Wherever you are, hope you're enjoying it, mate. And here we go. Arx, run us through to that first mid.
So, as always, Demoman getting some spam over. Paulson getting the edge over Ali there, who's forced to move back. He's going to absorb a bit of the medic's attention as soldiers are now jumping aggressive. Madness does overcommit, though, trying to take down and finish Ali, and he does go down. It is 3 down for Jasmine. Full tilt all over the moment. Medic does go down. Just Gio and Yui alive at the moment. Are they going to be able to equal this? Yui's still alive. He does take him down. It's just Dalash left now. Yui's got a health disadvantage, but he's already got the momentum, killing him. And wow, Yui taking down the whole team almost by himself. Is going to sit on that midpoint, and I don't believe anybody's going to get there in time to stop him. Yeah, that was 3K there for Yui there on that mid-fight, by the way. For a moment, I was going to say, clearly Jasmine needed a break. I was just about to say that, but I eat my words. Jasmine needed a break, but Yui doesn't. Yui's ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, so let's just have a look where that left us. So Jasmine taking that third CP. Both teams obviously losing their medics, so Uber chance will be about the same. Let's just see how Full Tilt set up for this defense, Arx, because we know that it seems to be always a jump through that window that tries to prompt something, or at least get the rest of the team in. Do you think? Oh, here we go. So actually, was that Uber popped? It was Uber popped there, and counter Uber coming in from Full Tilt. They're going to have a huge advantage here. Mike goes down in the background, but Dave goes down as well. So medic gone. Jasmine in a lot of trouble here without any heals. And it looks like they're losing players left, right, and centre. But here comes the rest of the Jasmine team, picking up 4 kills on the bounce. It's only Ali left on that second CP. 105, 101, Yui versus Ali again. And it is Yui that wins again. Wow, Yui on fire this second map. And they're going to take that second CP, Arx.
Yui versus the world right there. He is capping the points. He is killing the players. He is absolutely on fire right now. And he is keeping Jasmine T in this game and potentially in this tournament. Let's see if they're going to be able to capitalize on this. They are running that Kritzkrieg again, building up the advantage. They are very much aware whenever the Ubers would be even, and they're just desperately trying to claw that back. However, they have not had that much success with it so far. Can this be the first time?
Well, let's see. Yeah, Crits has definitely not been working for them in this matchup. Best of 3 so far. But here we go. Let's just see who the stickies will be. Well, I beg your pardon, who the crits will be given to. It looks like going to try and favour the bottom route. Is it going to be a scout? Is it going to be a soldier? Is it going to be Paulson? But here we go. Looking like they're going to come in. They need to make the most of it quickly, though. And crits, no! Paulson taken down by Taylash, and Alec gets Yui as well. So it's not happened, and David's all on his own. Is he going to be helped out? He is, and Taylash on that defense, just picking up 2 huge kills there.
They did exactly the same thing last round. We had Demoman walk through a door, get eaten by a sticky trap as the crits was popped. They're forced to just try and salvage something with the soldier firing crit rockets, those slow crit rockets crossing the map. Didn't do anything at all. And now we have a free capture of this second point for Full Tilt. They have their Uber advantage as well, and they will be pushing towards mid.
They're still on crits as well, aren't they, Arx?
They are.
Jasmine, yeah. I'm just watching Geo coming. Uber's been popped in that saw room.
Paulson down again. He's not going to be there for the crits.
No, but it's good force though, Arx. I must say that
crits
saw
is
room.
popped.
Crits is popped. It's 3 players down, 4 players down for Full Tilt. Terrible push.
The backcap's coming in though. They are just pushing through. Let's see if we've got teams there. Scout has already moved on to the last point. There's no one alive. They're going to get this point. Scout is already on it. No players spawning for another 5 seconds. An amazing push from Jasmine do come in and, well, unexpected play, but just out deathmatched.
What won it there was the Uber being forced in the saw room, Arx.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, that's what won it there. I mean, they didn't even need crits in the end. Just trying to see if anything, there's a change of strat here or anything from Full Tilt. So for a moment, I saw Baylash still running sniper, of course, probably still just didn't want to change. But here we go, Arx, second mid. Just walk us through it, see if anything's different.
Well, Paulson arriving in, different locations to where Ali's trying to fight it now.
First.
Paulson did get a much better round against Ali at the start. Previously, not this time though. So just going up aggressive.
Dave manages to surf the rocket away, but it's turned a lot of heads there, and 3 players down for Jasmine. Again, a complete replica of the first round. Silence's still coming in behind. Is he going to get onto Dave? May still do. Gia goes down as well. Is Dave going to escape? Silence is still chasing. Is he going to chase even more?
He's not catching him now. Dave has managed to get out, saving. I mean, they are still 40% Uber down on them at the moment. They're it is still a 40% advantage, 30% disadvantage now, and it's certain that Full Tilt know that as Mike jumps aggressively all the way to the spawn, gets juggled up in the air by the heavy. Great play from him. That's 1 player down, but it has allowed players to get in. Solentes also going down. Paulson, the Demo Man down. It looks like they're going to hold this because there's just not enough spam to be able to finish off that heavy. The question is, are Jasmine T going to be able to push out? It doesn't look like they are. Ali's very, very weak. He might get isolated by the soldier. Does manage to just jump over back to the rest of his team. But we do have 3 players out on their second point.
Yeah, they gave it to the Arx. Fairly uncontested. You know, they didn't want to lose anything there. Just catching on where we are. So Jasmine have a fairly healthy Uber advantage, about 30% now as I say that. Full Tilt will be aware of that, defending quite defensively, quite far back, coming in through that kitchen area. Baylash gets taken down, Madness in return, but still slight advantage for Jasmine onto the third CP. Uber has been popped. Koss still doesn't have his Uber. Scout's trying to run through and fall all the way back out to choke. Koss takes a huge rocket there. Still manages to survive. Will they come back in Arx? It does look like they want to.
Well, he's isolated. His
they haven't got the third CP yet either.
He had to Uber him to protect him. And yes, this is a lot of players going down. And without that third CP needing to be captured, they are going to be able to push this momentum all the way through to the 4th. Dave's in a bit of trouble as puts a bit of pressure on him. Uber saw hit comes out from him. Doesn't manage to survive, though. Manis did take him down, but As getting Dave down, crucially, that does mean no Uber charge for them. Uber deficit going to be probably about 70% by the time he spawns. And Full Tilt capping out that 4th point now. Jasmine in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, they need to do something special here, Arx, to hold off. Look at that very, very huge advantage. Yui running sniper, Zaka has gone to NG as well. So let's just see SG going back, going up, just on the spawn point, back right actually. So interesting spot. I assume he's building and just going to move it because that won't require too much attention there. Of course, it will only protect potentially the lower half. And that's where they're all stacked. Stickies come through, and here they go. Uber has been popped. SG not effective. It's done nothing. Madness goes down. Now it's been called. Stickies all over that SG. Time on point. Both scouts come down in to help out. Soldiers there as well. But Jasmine losing too many players. 4 down. It's only Dave alive, and it's going to be 1-0. Very quickly, 1-0. Full Tilt. Good push, Arx. Really good push.
Indeed, it certainly was. They did manage to get that capping. Well, 1-1, anybody's game at this point, but Jasmine T fighting for their tournament survival. They are 1 map behind at the moment, and we are going into round 3 over onto the midpoint as players are just making their way out of the spawns. Who do you think is going to win this mid one?
don't want to see. I want to judge it by the demo man. We're following Ali to the point this time. See how quickly he gets there. Going for the med pack option this time.
He's been on a negative trade against Poulsen so far. Let's see if he can do better this time.
Yeah, just see with Jasmine. It looks like they're stacking him for the left push, going straight into kitchen. Mike's taken care of by Zaka. Again, Salenta's going really aggressive onto David. Turns so many heads, but Jasmine look like they've dealt a little bit better with this time. And it's still 3-on-3, still going on in that mid-fight. Will Jasmine come in? Arx, they're really defensive. Went back
Yuri wants to. He's calling for his medic, but they need to block this cap, ideally, to prevent any forward spawns coming in. They are moving forward. There is a demo man sitting up top. He's pressured by the soldiers. Great job there by Gio, but he's got basically 1 health. Medic needs to do something. Fires a crossbow over onto him. And as of right now, this mid is still very much open. We do have full tilt players just regrouping, getting numbers forward. They do have a lot of their spam classes, but Jasmine T are not giving this up. Gio leading the way, pushing the team back. Ubers are both forced. We still haven't had this capture point capped yet. Both teams still fighting slight advantage in favor of full tilt, but they have lost a player. Gio also going down. That's one of the soldiers in exchange for the demo man, but I think the demo man loss might mean that Jasmine T are going to finally clean up and capture this.
Yeah, no one really wanted to give up that fight. Typical sort of old style, almost like American play there, and they never want the fight to end. And that's probably one of the heavily most contested mid-fights we've seen so far.
It was
Arx.
Yui's confidence again, and those first few rounds have probably played into him. He thought he was the best player in the world at that point, quite happy to walk into 3 people, forcing his medic to come with him, saying, look, heal me, I'm going, you're coming with me. And he pushed straight through that choke point and kept that mid alive. Right now, we do have time 6 sitting over onto this 4th capture point. Ast is a bit out of position, maybe just looking to see if he can cut off Zaka as he respawns or something. But he is behind them. Jasmine T are aware of it as Madness is going back looking for him. And actually, Ast running circles. He's going to get isolated, picked off, taken down. And that's 1 player down. Probably not before the push, but at least it ensures their medic safety.
Yeah, so both Ubers ready to rock and roll. To come into the lobby area. Just want to see if anything strange on the defense for full tilt. Nothing yet, just that engineer back right. Faylash switching to engineer this time instead of sniper. Scout of Yui trying to fight Mike up there. He's taking so much time away, turned so many heads, but the rest of the Jasmine team didn't come in, Arx. It took 2 players just to take care of him as he was jumping around. But nothing else happened from the Jasmine team. Looks
like they were just going in for the force. Full tilt not looking to push out yet. They're checking out the situation.
Faylash runs sniper Arx now again.
Maybe he can get a pick as they try and push in. There's no crits this time though, so we'll see if Poulsen does have some protection as he walks through and doesn't get caught by another sticky trap.
Yeah, a little bit of a stalemate. Just both teams settling. Just over 8.5 minutes remaining. This is lower round 3. Faylash taking care of Yui. Yes. Sniper and sniper action there. I doubt that would prompt the push. Again, quite an important stage of the match. Just as a reminder, Jasmine do need to win this map in order to take us to a 3rd and final decider. If they lose this, they will be going home out of the tournament, and Full Tilt will move on to face Froyotech in tomorrow's Constellation final, which takes place tomorrow afternoon.
It does. So right now we do have a spy out for Full Tilt. Yep. That's Ast running spy. So that's a spy and sniper. At the moment, they're not running any scouts. That to me almost suggests they're not trying to make a push out, because surely if you're trying to push out from your base, you're going to want a scout to lead the way, get that ×2 on the capture point and do something. But, I mean, what's the spy going to accomplish here? If he gets a pick, what are they going to do with it? Just waste time? They're at 1-1.
Back to engineer, Arx.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a sensible choice. I mean,
but he can hear you speaking, that's why.
Maybe. I'll keep my voice down.
Right, so SG slightly different position where Jasmine were putting it. A little bit more use there, I must say. Again, just keeping an eye on the time. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, so another minute wasted. We know Snakewater Arx probably one of, or if not one of the fastest maps of getting points back, but neither team really want to be in that position, do they? Hold that fort. It looks like they want to try and push in Arx, right side.
We're having a look at Yui trying to get a shot, but he needs that door open for him. Faylash there also trying to counter sniper. As soon as the soldier comes up for that door, he's trying to get the pick over onto him, but nothing really happening as of yet. Still looking at, well, let's see if Gio can do anything as a soldier. Is there going to be any aggressive jumps? Can they afford to do that with the sniper? Surely a sniper is their pick opportunity, and they're just trying to get something done So far, not a lot happening. Soldier was in his scopes for a fraction of a second. Yui getting some room here to push in. Shoots over onto the medic. Doesn't manage to connect, but he does get taken down by a sticky trap. And it looks like Mike jumping forward to see if he can catch anyone else off guard. But no, again.
Full tilter in the lobby, Arx. They've got it. They've retaken it left side. Apologies. Jasmine fell back very quickly there because of Mike jumping down, giving it back as Paulson falls back out of cheese.
But they still have that engineer and they still have that sniper. So you wouldn't think that Full Tilt are going to be able to push back at all. Zaka does go down. Both soldiers down.
Both
now
soldiers gone.
You could probably still push this, but check out, there is a spy in play right now for Yui. Again, because they've got that engineer, because they've got that sniper, they got 2 picks, 2 soldiers, and they still can't push it because they haven't got the right classes to do so. And if they're not going to push out, why bother going for the picks? Like, you might as well just almost defend on your last. Are they trying to stall out time? Well, they're at 1-1 at the moment. There's no need for them to stall out the time either.
I'm in eyes on Yui at the moment, standing next to Felash as spy, seeing what he goes for. Hasn't been called. If he could successfully get in here. Again, though, Arx just probably need a little bit of coordination. We want him to turn eyes so the rest of the team can rotate in. We do not want a repeat of what we saw in Granary, where it was just isolation, doing nothing and no use to anyone whatsoever.
The thing is, if you were Jasmine T right now, you know that even under conditions where you lose both of your soldiers, Full Tilt are not going to push out. You've got all the time in the world. You can start losing players to try and get that pick. Because if you lose one, they're not going to push out on you.
Still Nice managed to make his way over to the left-hand side at the moment.
The demo might hear him if he decloaks. It is certainly a tough one.
Here we go.
There's a lot of distraction. Here he comes. Oh, he's been spied by the sniper. He's not going to get much down.
Oh, he got the headshot on him, though. Oof. Oh, he got the headshot on him. So close there. Does get taken care of in the end, but so close there. One more shot would have done it. Shot to the face gets anyone, Arx, but
the thing is, they can try stuff like this. Because they know that Full Tilt aren't going to push out. They have to go and change their classes before a push out. And I mean, if you weren't going to push out when 2 soldiers are down, you're never pushing out.
Gone in eyes now. Back to Felash running sniper. Yui has again switched back to sniper as well. As we see Felash just switch up to the other side.
At this point, Jasmine might as well just try a push. Like, forget all the pick classes, just go. There's a sentry gun, yeah, they need to get some spam out onto it, but I mean, they're not getting these picks. It's wasting down the time. And
4 minutes left. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Potentially the last 4 minutes of Jasmine's competition. Full tilt.
Four in the round. There's still 15 minutes remaining in the map.
Keep on getting those two confused.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left in the map, but this potentially we could be looking at a stalemate in just 3 minutes 3 minutes 57 seconds. If no capture points are changed, the round might get reset, and that benefits Full Tilt.
Finally,
one pick goes off onto Thalash there. That surely has to prompt the push because they're not getting 2 picks if they've spent 10 minutes trying to get 1. So in comes push. Zaka goes down in a
making sure they get the SG
even
Arx.
starts. Yeah, the SG's down. Are they going to push now? 1 player down a piece. We are going to get the respawn coming in for Thalash there. And actually now if they push, they'll be pushing with a player deficit. Paulson.
Oh, Uber's popped. Uber's popped. Jasmine felt the need to use that Uber there. And Full Tilt now will have a massive advantage. So Jasmine will have fallen all the way back out of the lobby area onto the train area. And it's not going to happen. I mean, they're going to have to give up the lobby area, Arx, I imagine.
They might even have to give up this second, ideally getting the Uber out of them first. Full Tilt have changed their classes, showing their intention that they will be pushing out, or at least trying to push out shortly. Yeah, Jasmine T, their pushes are not working, their pick classes are not working. Nothing is working for them at the moment, and they've just lost their Uber advantage. Luckily for them, they do have the positional advantage, but they are giving them so much room. Thalash goes down again, but they can't really push without this Uber. They're moving forward aggressively, and it looks like they want to make a push, but if they do, they've got to force the Uber out, get out safely, not lose the point, and use their advantage instead.
Yeah, in the meantime, so looks like Dave has built up his Uber very quickly again. Will Zaka get caught? He does get caught for a 3rd time in that lobby area, I must say. That is not going to help anyone. Just seeing if there's a switch of classes. So Thalash gone to Spy. In fact, hold my fault. He's gone back to Sniper now. Lovely. Thank you very much for that, Thalash.
Okay, one thing that is starting to come into play now is that round timer. Because with just 2 minutes 15 seconds left, it could reset to just a mid-fight. And as the round gets cancelled out and both teams start off with a mid-fight again. Now, with that on the board, it's actually probably smarter for Full Tilt not to push out. Because if they don't push and they just hold for another 2 minutes, then they automatically get second capture point back for free and a free shot at mid. So it benefits them massively. for Jasmine T, they might as well just try and go for something just before that round timer does expire, because even if they lose it, as long as they don't lose their next capture point within, say, 10 seconds, then the round resets anyway.
Yeah. Do you think the teams are aware of that, Arx? Do you think full tilt is? They go to shoot. Uber's been popped by Jasmine, trying to take care of that SG. They do finally get to take care of it, but it took so long to do it, and nothing's happened, Arx. We're
120.
Full tilt not moving out, like you said. They won't want to do it. Why would they?
So if you're Jasmine T in this situation, you wait until there's 10 seconds left of the round timer, maybe a bit longer, and then you make your push. Because even if you mess it up badly and completely wipe your whole team, they're not going to have time to get out and get that second CP before the round timer expires. So
even if they did Arx, it wouldn't matter, would it?
No, well, yeah, because if they captured that second CP, the time would get reset to 10 minutes. So as long as no CPs are changed, the round would end. So if they wait until they have, say, 10 seconds left, make an all-or-nothing push, just get every player in, they can't possibly lose that second CP again. But
yeah, well, either way,
they need to time it right.
They lose second CP. Either way, even if they did have enough time. SG goes down nice and early. Uber's popped very early there for Jasmine. They just wanted to get through the door. Multiple flashings soaked up all of that Uber. Mike goes down. He was up on top of the hut.
They're pushing aggressively. That's
down.
This
might be good enough. Full tilt crumbling on the defense. Will Jasmine finally do it? It's only Ali and Kos back in the back corner. Surely they're going to do it. Kos coming into the defense as well. He finally, there we have it. 2-1 the score to Jasmine. And Arx, they didn't wait for your 10 seconds, did they? But it still worked for them.
To be honest, if they did wait for their 10 seconds, they wouldn't have capped the point in time. So that's why they're the pros, and I'm sitting up here talking about them. But yes, we are going into round number 4. That took them a good 9 minutes, 30 seconds for them to capture that point. But it does mean that they are in the lead. And Full Tilt are the ones who are going to have to respond here, as we are coming into the mid-fight of round 4. Let's see as the demo men do start to make their way in.
Yeah, let's just see. So actually, in fact, it was Paulson who's there, slightly ahead of Ali that time. Slightly different approach from Full Tilt, going up on the left-hand side with both soldiers and scouts joining on far right, wanting to get that high advantage. Mike and Zaka at both early losses, both roamers go down. Again, Jasmine, much better point presence this time. And Full Tilt, they've been pushed out, Arx. I mean, last time they did this and came back in immediately. Obviously, without the demo and soldier, they just don't fancy it, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, and to be honest, they're not... Oh, look at the crit screen coming out. Crit screen soldier jumping over, forces that Uber out. Geo jumping aggressively, forcing players into the point. They need to keep some players getting time onto the capture point. Celentis does get taken down outside. And I'm wondering if Jasmine T are going to push before an Uber charge and before the crit Krieg is built up. Just go for a nothing versus nothing fight, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I completely understand you. They'd have nothing to lose again. I mean, conscious though, Arx, they'll be aware of the score now, and obviously the time remaining starting to tick away in the back of their mind, and knowing that if they lose this map, it's done.
Yep, that is true. The question is, how much respect are they going to show for this crit Krieg? Because they know it's coming. They know that a crit Krieg is building. And look how far.
They're not going to do it.
No, but look how far back Jasmine are sitting. Because if they don't have their Uber, it doesn't matter if you only have like 5% left building. Here comes the crits. The stickies have bought enough time. There is an Uber for safety. Jasmine now can make the aggressive push.
Yeah, they are. So Uber's been popped. Crits haven't come in yet. They want to try and hold on to after those crits are finished. Nothing happening just yet. Ali and Celentis both going down in the meantime, though.
On the point,
so
no
much time
one's
on
blocking
point. No one's come back to block it.
Oh my gosh.
I assumed that everyone was going to rotate back in, but they didn't. It's 3-1 the score now. So we've gone from a 9-minute round to, what, a minute and 30 round, if that?
That's Snake Water for you.
Yeah. So Jasmine T looking like they want to stay in this tournament, Arx, and we have a pause. So, interesting. Full tilt. Literally doing a full tilt.
That's one way to put it for sure. But they I guess they were anticipating less. Okay, if we can hold on to the crits Krieg for as long as possible, rotate round, they'll all group on the point. We can fire out some stickies or some rockets or anything just with crits. If they're all grouped on the point, it will go to town on them. But yeah, no one was there to block the point. And that last capture point, if it had been a second CP, that would have worked great. But the last one's captured so fast that they just had no time to rotate around the spawns. And yeah, they all got picked off.
Yeah, so we don't really know why the pause is. We understand who it is. It's Jasmine. So anyone that was expecting that pause to be from Full Tilt, sorry to say it was actually Jasmine T who wanted that. Maybe they fancy keeping Full Tilt literally on their toes.
Still, you wouldn't think it's a tactical pause though, because if you're the team that's just it's Full Tilt, so that could be a tactical pause. Because the team that's winning, you wouldn't expect them to pause when they've got the momentum.
Yeah. Well, just as a reminder then whilst we wait, so this is lower round 3, by the way, so lower round 3. The loser of this this matchup, or best of 3, this is the second map, will be out of the tournament. Will be 4th place in the tournament. And then also the winner of this will go on to play Froyo Tech for the consolation final, which takes place tomorrow. That winner will then go on to play Crown for the grand final, and I think we're back live, so we'll go back to the game. So there we have it, still plenty to play for, and just as a reminder, it's actually Full Tilt 1-0 up on the maps on this at the moment, so Jasmine must win to stay in the tournament. And Arx, maybe it's a tactical pause by Full Tilt, maybe it was a tactical pause by Jasmine T. Either way, we've got another round, round 5, walk us through it.
Could also be a hardware problem, let's not rule that out, but yeah, going on to round 5, Demoman taking a bit of pressure from the soldier of Mike. Mike having to fall back though as he was quite low. Silenta's getting very aggressive with Thalash as well. There's a lot of damage coming out, but they are losing their backline in the process. Mike and Ali do go down. 3-4 down for Jasmine T though. We've just got Dave and Zaka. Dave's trying to run away from a Scout. Scout getting reloaded. Confidence showing here. Can't allow an Uber hot shot to go in. Oh, this is a duel, Ast. You made that hard for yourself, but does eventually come out on top. Zaka trying to fall back. He is weak. And well, Silenta's capping it on his own. He could probably do with his Scout helping him get some time on there. But
saving grace, Arx cost went down as well fairly early in the fight. So they won't have a huge advantage Uber-wise, but they will do. And in fact, costs his running crits, by the way. So they're very aware of the time and very aware that they need to do something different. And maybe, just maybe, for the first time in this match so far, we might actually see crits do something absolutely spectacular.
Is that because it's not Jasmine T?
Pretty much, yeah. It's not Jasmine T.
See, they are pushing in aggressively
very aggressive.
Now. Still only 70% on that crits creek now. However, 2 of the players, both soldiers in fact, going down for Jasmine. That's a lot of their spam going down. We do have soldier of Mike trying to jump in behind them, but he does get taken out as well. And Jasmine T managing to hold on for the time being. Crits push is not going to be coming in. I'm surprised because actually they do have their demo and medic. They could have possibly gone for a 3-man crits push, see if they can get the kills and then wait for the reinforcements before committing. But they're deciding against it. At the moment, I believe Jasmine T don't know that Full Tilt have that crits creek. They may be aware,
they would assume Uber, of course. Oh, crits are in. Crits have been popped. And it's nothing. Poor comms there, and it's been flicked off the demo man at the wrong point as well.
Uber in.
It would have been perfect in that mill room or saw room, and it's just not happened. And in fact, after all that, it's costs that pays the price for the lack of comms on Full Tilt's side.
It is. Well, the whole team is paying the price right now as Jasmine T getting that momentum moving forward now. Can they get another round? There is only 6 minutes, 27 seconds remaining, and they'd have to lose 2 rounds to bring it to a golden cap, and they are the ones with their foot on this 4th capture point. Mike jumping over aggressively. Zaka just misses the air shot over onto him, but and Mike does actually go down. So that was an attempt to try and make some sort of play. Have captured now this 4th point, and, well, with an Uber advantage, they're surely going to be pushing into last.
Let's just see what Jasmine T do here, Arx. 6 minutes just gone past on the board. 6 minutes remaining, of course. Nothing out of the ordinary. Felash running.
They don't need to.
No, of course not. It's theirs to lose now this round. But Arx, again, a little bit of gamesmanship. It doesn't look like Jasmine Team fancy it. Actually, are they going to come in lower?
They must know they've got an Uber advantage here. It's not as big as they probably think it is. As
they're taking their time.
And that's a problem. There we go. Uber is coming in. However, this might play into Full Tilt's favor as they pop their Uber. They held on to it because they had to, because it wasn't built yet. That's a very late pop for them, a counter pop even. As now the deathmatch is on. Full Tilt. We're still with 4 players, but there are 4 players alive. Yui trying to do what he can. He's distracting them. Zaka jumps down, does get a kill. Silentus is also in trouble, but he does take down Zaka. Yui on the point on his own, blocking the soldier.
Paulson got to come in as well.
Take another round. Great play from Yui, doing all of the work yet again. 4-1 is the score. 5, I don't actually know how many minutes are remaining, but there's not many at all. And we will see, well, it's looking very unlikely that Full Tilt are going to be able to.
Yeah, and it's looking more and more likely that Jasmine Team won't be going home just yet, Arx. But this is Snakewater. And as I said earlier, this is pretty much the fastest map round-wise to be able to get all around the whole complete
5 minutes, 3 rounds.
It's done.
Unlikely,
it's doable.
but possible.
It's doable. If I can
Let's
get
see.
Crits Creek
in
from Koss again, by the way.
Yeah, in response, Full Tilt running that Crits Creek. They know they need the rounds quickly, and I like the fact that they are being decisive about that action. Can they make this count for the time being? Aggressive players are jumping over from Full Tilt. Thalash putting a bit of pressure over onto the medic, who is quite weak. Ali going down, though. That's their Crits Creek demo men. They're going to have to rely on either a scout push or soldiers. But for the time being, they are capping out this midpoint. Jasmine falling back. They've got to be careful not to concede these rounds too quickly, or they might find themselves in a bit of a predicament when it comes to the last minute.
Has gone though, Arx. It's going to need something particularly special for this to work. And yeah, it looks like they fancy it, Arx. They're coming in straight away. Crits has been popped. Counter Uber coming in. No one's caught. You can still hear the crits going off in the background, but Uber's still there. And nothing does happen from it. So maybe neither team will be lucky with those crits today, Arx. But let's just see how Jasmine, they've lost 2 players at the moment. Could this prompt the push? It does. It does, Arx. It looks like they want to prompt the push. Can they get through that lobby area, though?
They might be able to. That Crits Krieg is also building up, so they might also decide just try and recycle that when nothing happens on a Crits Krieg push and the Uber's pop. The advantage swings to the Crits Krieg team as they will build up quicker, but we do have the medic going down.
Oh!
Great job in from Silentes, and wow, they do manage to take a round. There's still 3 minutes 46 remaining. The gap is narrowed to 2. It's even more possible than it was a minute and a half ago.
Yeah, I assume Koss is going to stay on crits as well. No choice, of course, Arx. Will we see Dave switch to crits? No, we won't. So still fancying their chance with Uber, and I give them that. I think actually if they hadn't lost those 2 players on the defense there, Arx, they wouldn't have been able to roll in pretty much like that.
Yep.
So let's see another mid-fight coming out. So this technically round 7 coming at you now. This is why we love Snake Water, really. It gives us, the viewers, the perfect game to watch. So fast-paced. And here we go, another mid-fight. Arx, run us through.
They've taken a big sticky on entry there, but he is a medic and will regenerate that health. As Yui up top's getting a bit of pressure onto him. Let's see if Full Tilt have the momentum. They've lost their demo man early. That's a lot of spam going down. Can anybody pick up the pieces for them? Ast also dropping, but Zachar and Paulson down in reply. It looks like Full Tilt are slightly in a better position here as Jasmine T having to fall back, and they're playing very passive now. I'm wondering if that could be their downfall.
Yeah, 3-minute warning has just gone. 3 minutes left of this map. Still 4-2 the score in Jasmine's favour. So they've captured that third. Mike is already on the forward point, so he's actually ready at second, trying to lock in Jasmine. Both teams have that Uber. I beg your pardon. Jasmine have that Uber, but Full Tilt running crits. Engineers being used by Jasmine is madness. Just trying to see where he's put up that SG. Funny enough though, Arx, as you know, so with crits they won't be able to protect themselves from that SG, so they will need to take care of that if we want to try and push in here. But let's just see if they get one of those sweet stickies we always talk about.
Here we go, Demo's looking up top. There's no sticky trap up there. Fires it across, forces the Uber, takes down Manlis. That's not the target he was looking for, but it might be enough. Uber is popped out. Let's see if Full Tilt are going to push in. They've got 2 minutes 13 seconds to cap effectively 4 capture points to get themselves back in this map. They only need 1 for this round. They are having to fall out for the time being as they lost 3 players, but Koss crucially is still alive. They will have a Crits Krieg advantage. Are they going to be able to play it right?
It's going to be an ever so slight advantage, Arx, I tell you that.
The time, though, yeah. But the time is going to force that push to be on point. They are going to have to be pushing as that Crits Krieg gets ready. With only 1 minute 48 seconds remaining, you can bet that they are going to be moving forward about now.
They need to be there. Yeah, they need to be there.
They need to be there now.
That will not help Yui taking care of Mike.
They still have to go for it. They still have to go for it. They do not have the time. They still need another round after. Sticky Trap takes down Silentes as well. Can the crits do anything? Gone. There's an SG over at the back. They've lost 3 players already. This push has gone very wrong for them. As Ali also gets taken down, and we might find that Jasmine T would be able to push back on this, but they don't really need to. 1 minute 20 left. They've got that engineer. They've got that sniper. They are parking the bus.
Paulson taking care of Ali. Layla Dog right there taking care of him as requested by eXtine.
Nice. Oh, they got Mike trying to jump in onto the point. Again, with 1 minute and 5, someone just had to try something. I'm surprised the rest of the team aren't just trying as well, because there's nothing to lose at this point. The map looks
They know it's done. They know it's done. 4-2 the score. Under a minute remaining. It's actually impossible now.
Trying to keep those KDRs up.
Yeah,
keep
those
the
stats for our analysts to review afterwards. See if Mike's still top of the leaderboard. We will see. So it looks like, barring Miracle and something actually physically not possible. Nice air shot from Mike onto Geo there. Uber coming in. Let's just finish off this map Arx before we go off on to something else. 30 seconds remaining. Will the score be slightly closer than it is currently now? I'm not certain. Jasmine not pushing out, of course, and well, Full Tilt just chucking bodies in left, right, and centre. Arx looking like, well, we're going to have a third and final decider map. It's going to be Gully Wash following this. I assume there's going to be a break for the players this time, if not what we call a tactical pause from Full Tilt. But we see, there we go. So score is confirmed. Second map complete. Jasmine taking us all the way to a third and final decider in this lower round 3. Guys,
let's hear from the analysts.
Let's hear from the analysts.
We got a... We're on.
Step aside.
Pipe down, casters. Yeah, I guess we have to cram as much in as possible here since they're just starting maps willy-nilly. We didn't get to analyse the first map.
4 seconds, summon both up.
Get the logs up, quick! Let's go!
I've actually, to circumvent all of this, I've drawn a graph that represents how the game went. I don't know if we can see that, but on the bottom of this graph, this is Full Tilt. And as you can see, they have well and truly tilted on this map, I feel. I mean, I went and sat down behind them. I infiltrated both teams, tested them a bit, you know, kicked the back of their chair, see how they reacted. They didn't like the very large 1-1 sort of stalemate at all. Like, they were really getting proper frustrated with that, and it was really good from Jasmine T to actually sort of go in the last moment and win it. And Jasmine T just seemed pretty chill. They were very, very chilled out.
We talked about it a bit before, about how composed they seem compared to, you know, obviously Jasmine come off, losing that first map, 1-0, they had quite a few opportunities to push last, couldn't get anything going, but put it behind them, took on the next map, calm and chilled, but now we have Full Tilt in those shoes, having to try and come back from a loss, and a pretty convincing one really, 4-2. Like, I know it was back and forth and it was even for a while, but ultimately Jasmine T just stretched out ahead.
Am I right in saying that of the last 2 best of 3s that we've had, it's been they've been winning each other's maps?
Yeah, well, I mentioned that to Admirable while we were watching the game, and I was like, nobody seems to be winning their map picks.
Well, that's what you need to do now. It's now going to be what you pick is
what you lose, so you've got to counter pick yourself.
Yeah, you've got to counter pick yourself. I don't know how that's going to work.
We'll work it out by tomorrow.
If it could bring up the tree trunks.
I think the game was closer than the scoreline suggests. It was just after that like failed 9-10 minute hold that Full Tilt seemed to like literally break mentally. And then they lost the flurry of rounds. Like,
so that final push, you know, when Full Tilt had held it for so long and even decided, we're not going to push out, we'll give a reset.
Logs, please. Show me the logs.
Wow, just like we asked for.
Production magic. Here we go. Geo, 23 kills, 14 deaths.
I love how you both have to like lean into it. It's like, I've got some glasses in my bag. Give me a moment, I'll go get them.
Got my binoculars on here. I can't see the stats on our
in the distance
analyst monitor here.
That's the real reason we
pretty low
enlarged
damage
some of the
game.
numbers.
Only 286 is the top damaging player on the server.
Yeah, I was really impressed, not just on this map, but also on Granary as well. Like, I feel like the Full Tilt soldiers, Mike and Silentes have been really great. Really standing up. Silentes, we talked about it on Touchnet before, and he needs to. We need more from him.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with him in both of these maps.
Is that better for you?
These are like beer goggles, man. I put it on.
Someone cut us back so we can see Admirable with my spectorals.
Please.
Put
the camera on me.
Production. Excuse me.
Hello, WARHURYEAH.
Don't forget to plumb my website.
WARHURYEAH.gg.
Thanks, mate. Hey, see you.
So now you can see all the
I
numbers.
feel physically ill. If I wasn't already feeling pretty rough today, that's tipped me over the edge. I'm off to the bathroom. Good luck, analyst desk.
We'll be fine. We'll be on track. Everybody would be asleep as well because it would just be me talking. I don't like anyone else speaking. Resident sleeper. But yeah, I was quite surprised as well with the amount of crits Krieg that we saw from Full Tilt. As you can see, 5 from Cost, and they were kind of successful. Mixed results. There were some where they were pretty decent, some where they whiffed, but
mixed crits all land from all teams really. No one's really been able to put out consistent.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we had a good Demoman that used crits was probably i58.
Do what? Huh?
No, me.
Oh. Sorry.
Nobody remembers my pick on Shade on Badlands Middle.
Going back to the...
Is that before or after you lost?
Oh my god.
Oh, we lost.
The first map that we didn't actually analyse, it was interesting to see that Dave, in his frustration at their inability to actually get around, did go to crits. And when we're looking at the Medic head-to-head previously, they only used crits like 2 or 3 times compared to Koss's 50 crits.
Could we perhaps get a review in terms of statistical evidence of that first map?
Recap, if you will.
Any moment now.
I think
as we
that map was really scrappy. Despite being 1-0, it was super scrappy. But I feel like Mike and Salentis, particularly on Granary more so than Snakewater, always seem to come out on top of these DM fights. We can see now 21-8 for Salentis. It's finally showing up.
It is very, very up and down on Granary. Like, there's not really...
Look at Yui getting blown up. 8 for 15. That's not the scout of the tournament we've seen so far.
It's not really like a scout map, Granary, for me. It's more... Especially if you're sort of hanging around on laughs quite a bit. It's very difficult to sort of really maneuver around, and if you go into second, because it's so close, there's lots of you know, like everything's close to a wall, so soldiers can just easily tear you a new one just by accidentally launching a rocket at you.
You've got like a 50% chance of splashing the scout.
Yeah, pretty much. And like it was very, very sort of like back and forth, despite the 1-0 snooze fest that this log implies. But yeah, I think what is the last map? Is it Gully Wash?
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be fascinating, really.
Another super fast-paced map, Gully Wash.
Oh, I love that, don't we? Bit of fast-paced, easily accessible last, where we'll see some beautiful 1v1 snipers. Yep. Lots of choke points to struggle to push through. Wowee.
But one team's going to go home.
Yeah.
At the end of the next map, one team will be going home and one team will be meeting Fryotech tomorrow in the lower final.
That is going to be very, very interesting to see.
Do we want fancy stats? You know, are we still talking about map 1 here? You want to go back to map 2?
I'd like to go back to map 2 because that had a better scoreline.
I feel like map 1 was.
Was there any
forgetting.
amazing standout moments from map 2? Apart from the dying last push up,
9-minute
1-1
field hold.
Yeah, that one was the key, I think.
Somebody tweeted, I was just scanning Twitter, said that's a very European problem to have a 9-minute field last goal. How frequently does it happen?
It did feel a lot like Europe.
Yeah.
I felt much more in my comfort zone watching
Lego
that
versus
Snakewater last.
Is this Lego versus Crowns on Reckoner? It seems very familiar, this situation. Some numbers that I don't understand.
Take me through them, Admirable.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Which map is this?
That was only up there for a short amount of time, so I couldn't decipher them quickly enough.
Blink and you will miss it. So this is the percentage of frags by both teams. Don't be confused by the colours. That just means they won that particular zone. But we're basically seeing here that most of the action took place on middle and on the respective last points.
Middles were quite scrappy, and they did sort of go on for quite a while. And then it would just sort of end up that one team that finally realised that they've only got 2 players up, decided, oh, we should get out of it now. There was a lot of that going on, but it was like a... I don't know, it's kind of really hard to pin what the problem was from Full Tilt. I think that the incredibly incredibly long last hold was sort of a bit too much.
They were a little bit complacent. You know, they just thought, we've got the easy defense here, Snakewater last, we're unbreakable. They just kind of took their eye off the ball for a minute there. They thought, yeah. But they're thinking about the next round already, and then bam, Paulson comes in with that Uber, jumps across, pipes the guy on the tower, and then it was just...
I mean, I was watching, I was standing behind them when that happened, and it was sort of like, I don't know, would I say like they never really took it like seriously? I think they sort of expected it to be like another Uber trade. And then it would just sort of not happen. But yeah, as you said, everyone did seem complacent because they just sort of got...
We saw Ass going around like building teleporters and dispensers, like he was really going for the NG setup.
Into his zone.
He's trying to sort of like...
He had the Eureka effect. I was just waiting for some magical teleport back to spawn, you know, some gimmickry, but...
Maybe he was sort of thinking that, you know, if I showed them my engineer skills, I might get put in a new Prem Highlander team.
Here we see interesting that of all the chances that Jasmine T had, they only managed to convert half of them.
But they had so many.
Whereas Full Tilt limited in their chances with the 80% conversion rate. If only they hadn't wasted all their time defending last and then losing it, they might have had a better chance.
Yeah, that is true. But I think it's I don't know. It is very, very negative. And I'm not really sort of too pleased with how they sort of approach this map, because you have a one map advantage anyway. You've already won their map. It's like, if this is your pick, why would you approach it so negatively? Why not just try something? And I do kind of understand where they're coming from. It's very easy for me to sit there and go, oh, you see, what you should have actually done there, Silentes, is you should have just jumped out of top lobby, dropped the medic and killed the rest of them, you silly goose. But
well, there was a moment when Mike jumped out and 1v2'd both enemy soldiers.
Yeah,
and then they just held
They should have just
last.
like, Mike, go out there, you know, get some frags.
That was Nox's tactic. Mike, you go win game now.
Yeah,
We'll
but
hold.
I don't know. I just wasn't happy with how defensive they were on last. I mean, I would have preferred them that they just sort of try something and see how it goes.
I think it was definitely the right idea, because I remember like looking to CX, because they had those 2 picks, whatever, and they started to walk out, and I was like, there's 3 minutes left in the round. They definitely shouldn't push.
It felt like the right decision, but then I feel...
If they'd actually held, it made sense, but it just looked really bad when they ended up losing.
Yeah, to be honest, I was behind him during that as well, and it was Sil that was saying, you know, we just shouldn't push. There's 3 minutes. It will start a new round when we most definitely and 100% defend these next pushes.
That's what Cadis would have called. Coach Cadis would have said, do not push. Go back. Doesn't matter how big an advantage you have. If they all take their kill binds.
I just felt that, you know, and I think it's like a recurring problems where the team sort of, they really need to take into account like how much time they've got and just have more confidence. Just sort of think, yeah, you know what, we actually can do it. And it seems like this is what Jasmine T are doing. They are actually sort of trying to be more confident and just going for these plays. And it's only until like the dying, you know, few minutes where they're a little bit reluctant to.
It's a problem they've had domestically when playing against Crowns. Whenever they play against Crowns, Full Tiltnesses, they always just end up playing the same style as Crowns. I was like, you're better in a more of a scrappy DM fight like we saw on Granary. You always seem to come out on top of those situations somehow, but you always end up playing the game the other team wants you to.
They approach them very negatively. They really do sort of like get themselves down and just think, oh, they're turtling, this is it now. We're going to have to sit here for 8 minutes and just do nothing and just...
They're beating themselves.
Yeah, they you know what? Someone needs to go over there and just like, give them a big pat on the back.
Concentration is a real issue at the minute. Like we saw cutting to the camera earlier, they were like rubbing the sleep out of their eyes. Right now we are looking at Jasmine here. And they don't look too enthusiastic right now.
Pretty chill.
Yeah, they just seem to be exactly the same all the time. Where they're just like,
everything's just always
video
all right.
games. How's things going? Good.
We are right at the end of a very long day 2. We're about to go into the 3rd map here. How can they G themselves up for this one?
I'm sure I, you know, echo everybody else's sentiments where I say I do not want this to end. Let's cast some double mixes. Friends.
Let's do it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
They wouldn't actually let us cast, so we're just going to take it over from the
We should just do what they do on
Analysts.
stage, where they just have 2 people streaming some like Overwatch pub. Should we just sit here with a computer and just like play some...
Did you see they had a CSGO 1v1? That would have been so much more entertaining if it was like MGE, Mike versus
Exactly,
Tyler or
that
something.
would have been... Oh, Banny versus Thalash, Scout 1v1, Alan's middle. And then like halfway through, they just sort of like, you know, like in hockey, except on dropping the gloves, they just drop the mouse and keyboard.
And hug it out.
That's it. It's like in Borat where like they go into the wrestling ring in like Texas and start passionately kissing. And then Benny's like, oh damn, I need a new keyboard again.
I feel like I've read this story somewhere before.
It's a fan fiction, copy pasta. Familiar with that one? Yeah.
It's one of my favourites actually. It's a classic. I really do like
Got
it.
one on my bookshelf at home.
Yeah, I print them out.
So guys, of course, we are moving on to map number 3, Gully Wash. Any prediction as to who, from what you've seen so far, there's been a lot of mistakes on both sides. Sometimes a little bit of fearfulness creeping in, I think, to even take the opportunities.
I feel like Full Tilt are going to slow the game down and end up throwing it away. I feel like they're going to beat themselves again. Jasmine will be pretty solid. Yeah, I feel like Full Tilt are going to beat themselves in this one.
Yeah, I'd like them to play and meet Jasmine on the aggressive front. You know, just try and go all out,
Go
constant.
toe to toe.
Yeah, just go toe to toe.
They've got the ability, they've got the talent.
Yeah.
They've just not got the motivation.
They've got the players as well. I mean, we saw Ast against Xenix, who like absolutely stomped them. Like truly, it's like, why would you not want to unleash that power that is inside that?
Free Ast.
Free Ast. Yeah.
Free Ast.
It's one thing slaying Xenix, though. It's another to come up here against Jasmine T. Can he have that same kind of impact?
Well, you're not going to find out if you're just making him play engineer for 8 minutes, are you?
With the Eureka effect.
But yeah, that's probably what it is.
Teleporting back to score.
I was watching them as well. All he was doing for like the most of it, when he wasn't using the Eureka effect, was just shooting corners trying to find Spy. He's probably just so bored, poor guy.
He's a role player, man. You know, he's just doing his job.
He proper gets into it.
He does it when he's walking around. He keeps checking corners, seeing if anyone's cloaked.
Yeah. You know, whenever you put him on scout, he's like, okay, my job is to frag. I'm going to get 30 frags and only die 10 times. If you put him on Engie, he's going to build every structure in the game. He's going to check all the corners. He's just a team player.
So yes, I don't know if I should tell the admins this, but I did see him actually with his phone watching Uncle Dane videos, getting himself into the zone.
Looking for tips.
Just trying to find the best Snake Water engineer last positions.
Any of them.
Well,
it's
to
literally
be honest,
any spot will help you hold last.
It seemed to not work, so I don't really sort of trust Uncle Dane's professionalism anymore.
We do have word that all the players are back at their seats. I think Paulson had just gone AWOL for a while there.
He's recomposing himself, getting some fresh air.
He went to flex.
We're going back to you, casters. Arx Beta, take it away.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. Like you rightly said, so this is going to be the third and final decider map. Lower round 3 of i58's Team Fortress TV, Team Fortress 2 competition. Team Fortress TV's Arx Beta bringing it to you with the whole production crew behind us as well. Won all the maps as best of 3 format. Arx, Jasmine T, full tilt. Here we go.
Aggressive from Mike already, taking down Paulson right off the bat. In return, though, he does get that kill over onto the mic. But Demoman, surely you've got to feel is more important than Soldier on this point. Is it going to count? It looks like it is. It's going to be a complete wipe unless Yui can pull off what he did in the first round. ×2. No, he cannot. Ali with a pipe to the back as he was running up, and full tilt opening this round with pretty much the perfect start with that wipe.
Yeah, exactly, Arx. And the only saving grace will be Koss that went down in that mid-fight. But again, ready on that second CP, got the third very quickly. Second CP quickly following, as you can see. It looks like the break favoured full tilt Arx. They're going to come out and contest it. Jasmine T going to come out and contest it. They know that neither team has that Uber. They've done a good job of forcing them out, but could this be a slight recycle from full tilt Arx? Maybe they're fancy jumping in. No, they're fully out. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. It's finally some aggression from the Australian team. Maybe they don't want to go home after all.
Well, I'm sure they did in the first place, but they're certainly acting like they don't want to go home, as now they are occupying the upper area over on the balcony just to make sure that they maintain that height advantage. But it is all up to full tilt apparently to be pushing in. They are circling around to take the route where they will be beneath them. Let's see if they are able to get in. The Uber is popped. Demoman going up top does manage to force down the Uber. Yui is, well, he looked like he was in a bit of pressure for the time being. They have fallen back out to mid. Yui now over onto the midpoint, does get taken down by Thalash there. Ast also taking him down. Looks like full tilt will be able to push this. Jasmine T going to be forced back onto their last. They do have their medics still alive. Ubers are going to be roughly the same, but crucially, they've lost the positioning.
Jasmine overextending Arx. I'm not really sure as to why. Yui all on his own on that third CP, and Geo also got caught in that same area. Medic left him a long time. I'm not sure if that long time before that. I'm not sure if that's cool, but now they find themselves defending on last. Yui's actually gone to heavy, in fact. Full tilt quickly building outside. Really strong start from full tilt Arx. Even though I do think Jasmine probably had themselves to blame a little bit there. But they know, as you know, loser of this map will be going home. This is lower round, so there is no more double elimination. This would be the second time they've lost. And they're in the Riverside Arx.
Yes, Uber versus Uber. Mike trying to put down a few rockets and pull some with some spam up on that right-hand side just to try and delay the push or make him maybe get a lucky pick even. Now, full tilt, are they going to be moving in with a soldier? Uber's popped. Are they going to force out the Uber? Actually, the sentry guns bought a delay, and Dave does not need to pop his. He can quite happily sit there. The question is, will they be pushing out afterwards? Surely they've got to at this point, as full tilt are moving all the way outside. And the other thing is that if they are going to push out, they need to do it quickly. Otherwise, it's just going to swap, and Uber advantage in favor of Full Tilt. They might as well use it as quick as possible and get out there.
Yeah, actually they switched up those classes really quickly. The Engineer disappeared. In fact, they are out. Uber was popped early. Let's just have a look at the back cap. There's 2 players going for that back cap at the moment. It's Mike back there. Also, the other soldier come flying in. He's on last. Salenta's nearly doing all the work on himself there, but Jasmine do recapture that second point, and it cost Full Tilt 5 players, Arx, trying to attempt that as well.
Yeah, that wasn't good, to be honest. They could have traded the capture point for an Uber advantage. They would have had it once the Uber was forced out of Jasmine T. They could have held on to their Uber. Well, not held on to their Uber, but just kept them in it building. Got that Uber advantage and then rotated around and hopefully taken it back. But it does look like they are now trying to hold on to this midpoint. Great aggression coming in from Full Tilt as they get players on the midpoint. Yui does go down. Zach is in a bit of trouble. He is completely trapped. Salentos does manage to take him out as well. And that is going to be 2 players down. Midpoint going over to Full Tilt with all the momentum in their favor as well. Apart from the Uber advantage, which has now been popped defensively. Scout, is he going to be able to do anything? He most certainly is not. He's running around up top. Ast does go down. Are they going to push out to mid?
Turned 3 heads doing that, Ast did. So it's actually wasted the Uber for Jasmine there. It turned 3 players around, and now we can see Full Tilt will just roll onto this point. Uber, huge Uber advantage. Assuming that they don't lose too many players trying to get up there. Taking their time about it. Finally, the soldiers come up to meet and greet. But it's allowed Jasmine to fall out, Arx, and let's just give him more time to build.
It was actually pretty unlucky because it looked like they wanted to send their soldiers aggressive and then follow it up with the Uber, but the medic got knocked off of the ledge, couldn't get to the soldiers.
Oh, he's
Mike went down.
Zaka
is down as well. They are pushing forward. Are they going to get this this 4th capture point? Jasmine's still up top. Are they going to come out and try and defend it? Soldier is waiting around the corner. Uber has come out. The capture point is nearly capped, but Scout wasn't able to do it. Thalash still dancing around on that capture point. Doesn't manage to cap it out, and he does get taken down. And, well, 1 player down at the moment for Full Tilt, but they've got a lot of time on that capture point.
Yeah, and again, it's a trade of Uber advantages. I'm just looking where Mike is at the moment. Mike's in behind, hasn't been called. He's on the big med pack. Just in eyes on him now. He's going to actually try and finish off the cap. Someone will need to go back for that.
He's on it. He's going to take it. Great play from Mike. He's also, by the looks of it, getting out for the retreat. That alone has probably just saved them. Full Tilt are going to be pushing forward as well, making sure they're in that yard area. And Jasmine, they're going to be back on their last. They're not getting out of that door unless they have an Uber, which, well, simply they don't.
Yeah, and in fact, after all that, Full Tilt have a slight advantage. They wouldn't most likely be aware of that. Again, great play by Mike. Gio goes up top to take care of Faylash. It's nicely done, actually, making sure no one can get inside the Riverside. He doesn't want to get caught himself.
They
got a little bit aggressive here. And in fact, both Ubers have popped in this at the same time. It's allowed them to come out. But who's winning the fight? It looks like it's Full Tilt, but Jasmine still have that presence on the point. Can Full Tilt clean up here? They've lost 4 players, Jasmine have. It's not looking good. It's only Dave and Yui, and finally Dave on his own. He will get taken down. That is a wipe for Jasmine, and that's going to be the round gone. As we see some spawns coming of Gio attempting his best, but it's going to be 1-0 the score already on this 3rd and final decider map. Arx, great start for Full Tilt. Probably really happy there. Again, thinking Jasmine probably could blame themselves a little bit there.
Yeah, the decision making wasn't too great. There was a lot of capture time already on that 4th CP, and well, they didn't have players to react to it. Mike just went around the back, got the back cap, and from then on, the momentum was all in Full Tilt's favor. Either way, we are going on to round 2. There's still 23 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Jasmine T certainly have enough time to pull this one back. Question is, how is this mid-fight going to go? As Poulsen takes a big sticky. Mike again jumping up to put pressure on him and zone him out the point. He is zoned at least temporarily as Mike has to switch targets. Watching Gio now on the floor. Zachary even trying to see what he can do. Is he going to actually jump up? No, he just gets absolutely annihilated by the scout of Thalash there. And Full Tilt carrying this momentum, getting this midpoint, and they are already pushing forward to the 4th.
Don't know what's happened on this break for Full Tilt, but that aggression much better on that midpoint then. Got the height advantage. It was actually Mike up top on the center of the CP, raining rockets down. And look where the Full Tilt team are. They're ready through the front door. Uber has been popped. Counter Uber coming in as well. It's only 3 players of Full Tilt there at the moment. Probably could have done with the rest of the team. But it's, again, just showing their willingness to get this done. They want this map over. They want to go and get some dinner. And Gio going, getting caught. Again, Arx. I mean, really great aggression by Full Tilt here. I mean, definitely a change since that break. I'm not sure what's been said, but definitely looking like they want to get it done.
feels like they are just not showing them any respect anymore. They are quite happy to push. However, look at this full tilt with players up top. Just seeing it was looking for a back-up opportunity.
Dave
there.
Caught by Mike. Arx in the background. He came
Zaka
up behind
as well
him.
will get, he just manages to escape up top. Zaka was in a bit of trouble there, but they are certainly losing players. There's only 3 alive. Uber's not quite there, but surely they're going to be able to push it anyway. Balash is running it onto the last capture point. There's nobody around. Demoman was trying to spam the entrance, but he didn't see the scout coming through as he was checking the upper door. And a quick round for full tilt, making sure they carry that momentum. And, well, might be tilting Jasmine T here.
So it's 2-0 the score. Personally, I think that's 2 bad decisions from Jasmine there. Again, causing their own problems, I think. They need to definitely change something up on that. I'm not certain what they were attempting for that push, but no one was covering the battlement's area. Mike came behind, took care of Dave the medic, and then from there it was a foregone conclusion because Jasmine didn't actually have their full team there, and with the medic gone, no heals, and you saw full tilt come cleaning up all on overheals. I'm following Mike this time, who's jumping onto Paulson, falling back down very quickly into lower area. Still going to try and get through the drop down. Slightly different approach from full tilt, but it's actually madness to go to first down. It's 3 players on the bounce, actually. 4 players down, so it's only Dave left. Again, full tilt on this midpoint, going to work on this Jasmine team, and it's a wipe.
It is indeed, and it's also a full wipe. We do have 6 players still alive for full tilt here. They are going to be pushing in with a whole load of momentum. They've got everything in their favor. Medic isn't even spawned, so even if they use their Uber now, there's basically going to be no advantage gained if they mess it up. So let's see if they push it quickly. Uber is popped. SG, well, non-existent. Heavy does get taken down. Players about to go on the point. There is only Paulson at the back of the point trying to hold on.
Done.
He's not going to be able to. Great aggression from the soldiers, and a massively quick round for full tilt. 3-0. This is getting out of hand.
I've just told my other half I'm going to be home late. At this rate, I'm going to be home early.
Let's go to the pub.
Seriously, 20 minutes left, 3-0 the score, and it's all up to Jasmine. They need to prove to us now that they deserve to remain in this competition. They're going to do it the hard way, come back.
It's got to be this round.
You think this is a decider, Arx? If it goes against them, you think that's it, it's done and dusted?
Yeah, pretty much. I think they need to step it up here. Like, forget the fact that there's 20 minutes remaining. They need to step it up here. They need to at least put up a decent fight on this mid.
Yeah, different approach coming in for the main left-hand side entrance this time. Again, they've lost a couple players on the bounce though, Arx. It just looks like they're getting isolated one-on-one so much. There's 5 players down for Jasmine, full tilt. I don't know what on earth has been said in that break, but that's another wipe on mid. This could be 4-0 very, very quickly here, Arx, and Jasmine T in very, very big trouble.
Geo did manage to take down Cost there, so it's not quite as overwhelming as the previous one, but they've certainly, again, got all the momentum. They've got a player over onto his 4th CP. It's crazy stuff.
Just seeing it looks like a little bit of delay trying to happen from Jasmine. Finally trying to do some work, but no one's building that Uber for Jasmine there. Just having a look at the percentages. In fact, it doesn't look like full tilt were building particularly quick either. They're well aware of the huge advantage they probably have at the moment. I'm surprised they didn't keep that momentum, Marks, because that was working very, very well. Very being the key word today for full tilt, because very impressive on this map.
Yes, it is. Now let's see, Jasmine, are they going to be pushing out here? They certainly look like they want to get something done, and they can't sit at a 3-0 deficit for very long. Still 19 minutes remaining, so there's certainly enough time to get 3 or 4 rounds in. But you've got to think that they're getting a bit nervous now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, actually, do you think this is some of the nerves coming through, maybe just not necessarily fully set up for this map? I'm not certain, but definitely something different for Jasmine T going on at the moment. Still not all lost. Let's just say that it's not all lost yet. Still plenty of time. Set up the defense. Neither team, you know, that full tilt should be able to get in here through the front door easily. Should make it very hard for them, but at one point, Arx, like you rightly said, 3-0 needs to become 3-1. Otherwise, they may as well start booking taxis home.
Yeah, it looks like full tilt here trying to stall it out. They're not overly aggressive. They're not pushing in. They don't need to, quite frankly. I mean, they can't sit outside forever, but they can certainly be selective on when they push. Have they got a bit of spam in? Is the health low? If not, well, there's no need for them to really do it. However, Jasmine T wanting to make something happen with the sniper up top. Thalish goes down. Not the best pick to give away the sniper, but it's still a pick. And this is certainly an option for them. A second pick over onto Ali. Things are getting better for them. That should at least prompt a push. The Uber is forced. Are they still going to get a push out, though? That is the question, because they need to capture it. Even though they've got the Uber advantage, surely take this ground for free. There's no one out there.
Yeah, a little bit delayed in making that decision. And actually, you would have thought from earlier on they were quite keen to push out. It looks like they're a little bit hesitation, fully aware of what's happened to the last couple of times they've made that decision. Who is that just trying to come into block?
Mike.
Against Zaka. Yeah, of course, it's Mike. He's fallen back very well, I must say, actually. Lucky to get away there. Or very well played, I must say. Still, big Uber advantage for the Jasmine team. Full tilt all the way back. Just letting them walk onto the point, eating as much spam as possible, trying to force that Uber out, but it's not going to happen. They've got to give them third for free, Arx. A bit surprised by that.
It is, but as you say, the Uber is popped as they are now pushing around the corner. A couple of players going down, but Koss also went down in the process. Let's see if Jasmine T are going to be able to push. They left their scout out there, isolated quite a bit. Two soldiers pushing aggressive with a scout. Zaka and Dave probably going to have to fall back because they're just not going to have the damage right now. Mike chasing them, getting a nice juggle show in front of the medic. Does take down Zaka. Dave's isolated. He's also down. That's a ton of players. No time on the capture point, on the mid capture point yet. So there's well, a good chance that a lot of their players will get forward spawns, but I don't think they're going to be able to get into mid and take it back anytime soon. Full
tilt, to me, just seems to be winning these one-on-one battles, Arx. The deathmatching's definitely stepped up a level for full tilt.
They're winning the one-on-ones, the 2v2s, the 6v6s. They're winning everything.
Yeah, and I must say, great play there by Mike as well. That just that game sense, come through the drop-down, chase after that weak soldier in the medic. And I was about to say that Koss went down really early in the fight, but actually now they're going to have fairly healthy Uber advantage because of Dave going down so late, Arx.
It is. So, let's see. We still have Yui on that sniper. They're trying something different, but the problem is that snipers lead to slow pushes. And they can't really afford slow pushes at the moment. There's only 16 minutes remaining, and they still need at least 3 rounds, 4 to take the win. And you wouldn't even fancy them on a golden cap as of now.
No, not at the moment. They need to show us something here on this third and final map. This is the decider, lower round 3. The loser of this will be going home. The winner, of course, going to the next stage, consolation final to play Froyo Tech. As we can just see, Mike trying to creep in left-hand side, but Yui still running sniper. Will be conscious of that, considering he got a nice pat on the head a moment ago from him. A little bit settled. It looks like Jasmine fancy it, Arx. They know they've got to try and do something here. Time remaining, 15 minutes left. It's not all long. It's not all gone yet, I must say. Still long enough, but full tilt. They're probably quite happy with the score, Arx. Probably happy to chill there amid. Mike goes down, that's just the Roma, so will that prompt the push potentially? But with Yui running sniper Arx, they need some sort of pick because ultimately in that deathmatch battle, here we go. So at the choke point, Uber has been popped by both teams. Has anyone been caught? Geo still trying to catch onto the soldier of Silentes. Will he get caught? No, he's just juggling him around, falls back out, and we're back with another stalemate, Arx.
Yeah, we have a kind of 3-3 split at the moment. They were trying to get a sniper in the lower entrance while the Uber was being blocked up top. But it was full tilt with the aggression. They're Ubering straight into the Jasmine T team.
Still in eyes on Yui.
They're relying so heavily on this pick, but it takes so long to get it. And I mean, they're not getting the medic pick. I say that, it might be a caster's curse or whatever, but they're not getting the medic pick off of it. They're probably going to get a scout, a peeking scout, maybe a soldier with that sniper play. So it's just taking them so long to do it.
Yeah, I'm just watching where Mike is at the moment as well. I'm not certain if that's being called. Just on top, he is going to drop down, take care of Yui. Again, just delaying Jasmine even further. I imagine he's going to switch back to Scout now, Arx, of course. And that pick is clearly not working for them. They haven't had much luck with those type of suggestions or plays today. Spy and also Sniper. We saw that on Snakewater.
If they were 2 rounds down, it might work. It might be, you can afford that time. But 3 rounds down, bear in mind that if they lose another round, it's going to be so difficult for them to come back. So I feel like the Sniper pick, it is a good choice, apart from the fact that the clock's against them. So in this situation, he has changed back to a Scout as he called. I think that's a good choice because they certainly need to get in and get something done quickly.
Yeah, so still plenty of time left.
There we go.
Both Ubers popped again at mid. Neither of the medics actually moving this time. Trying to allow no move from either side. Neither soldier able to get in. And it's another trade there. Both teams looking to recycle and just rebuild Uber Arx.
It doesn't make sense. They're not pushing. They're just Ubering into them. They need to actually make a push.
Hold that for Arx. Hold on a minute. Full tilt. Got 2 players in behind here. It's Aster's managed to get behind. Mike got caught, actually got called. Aster will go down, I imagine, trying to retreat.
3 players chasing them. If full tilt push through right now, they'd only have a 6v3, well, a 5v3 even. They're not opting to push, but then they don't need to. It's Jasmine who need to make a push, and they had an Uber, and they walked around and hung around the choke where there's sticky bombs beneath them. They did absolutely nothing. They need to use their Ubers to make pushes. Solentis go down. Ass also down from the previous attack. That should be enough to push them through.
Do it now.
It also looks like Mike going down. They have to get in. They have to get time on the point, stop chasing targets, and cap that midpoint.
Yeah, as you say that, Yui actually does come back to the point as you command, Arx. So to cap that quickly. Let's just have a look where we are. Both team have their Ubers exactly the same, of course. There was a slight advantage at one point, but it's been gone. And here we go. They're moving in fast now, jumping up to the bottom. Gio and Yui got caught immediately.
Uber is forced, though. Uber is forced. They still have 4 players alive. They're retreating back. They're actually retreating probably further back than they need to. But they do have that Uber advantage. You'd like to think that Full Tilt here are going to try and get it out of them. Scout is on the point, getting a bit of time. Demoman spamming. Madness is staying way too safe for his team as well. Are they going to hold on to this? That's a lot of time on mid. Scout's still on there, and no one's really blocking him at the moment. As Solentis does come around.
Couple players caught, Arx. I imagine Jasmine will fancy coming back in, assuming that Dave doesn't get caught, which he does by Mike.
And they've capped the mid that
quickly.
Uber
advantage gone. It's gone as well, Arx.
All of that time that Scout got on the point meant that they could cap that midpoint so quickly. There is a Scout and a Demoman on the midpoint. They are already moving around. Soldiers also coming up. It's, yeah, a free cap back. Yeah, that was weird.
Well, it's Full Tilt's time, Arx. Why would you contest it?
Yeah,
they know they're
going
to have a huge Uber advantage now. They might be able to potentially just walk in uncontested here. Seeing how they're setting up, Mike just on the far right-hand side, of course, on the flank, being chased down by Madness. He's very, very weak. And Jasmine T actually coming on the right-hand side, Arx. Looking like they fancy it. They could use the super here. I thought Kostas fancied it then. You can see they're just saying that Mike's going, right, are you going to use it or what? But again, it's just their time. In the meantime, Jasmine's still building Arx. But like I just said, I can talk about Full Tilt not using it, but it's their time to waste. This is potentially their game to lose now as we come to that 10-minute warning.
I guess the other thing to look at is that actually the clock might make Jasmine T play the way they need to play. They need to be decisive, make pushes, and the clock might actually force them to do that, and that could be beneficial for them. However, at the moment, they are in a bit of a 4v5. Uber's popped in no man's land. Counter Uber was there, but there's no one else in with Dave and Gio. At the moment, Zaka's still trying to clear sticky bombs around the corner. He has managed to jump in, but the team just aren't really together. It is working out for them now as only Ast is alive. They did manage to get a nice little sandwich pincer flanky maneuver going on.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
And there's only Mike alive on the last point, leaving one player behind. Can they get in and cap it before the players spawn? There's still 5 seconds on 2 players. Ast still another 10 away if they get in on the point. Great heavy switch there from Thalash. Putting damage out, but Scout does go onto the point.
Destroyed.
That's times 2. Demoman trying to come in and block it. He's not going to cap it. He walked off the point, but finally another Scout comes in. They get that round they urgently needed with 10 minutes or so remaining. It's 2 rounds in, that's 5 apiece. They can do it, but they needed that round, and they needed it badly.
So here we go then. This could be the last 10 minutes of Jasmine T's i58 competition. It's all up to them to bring it back. 3-1 the score in favor of Full Tilt. Arx, you did say if Full Tilt get that next round, they would win it. But how do you feel now?
Well, they didn't get the round, and at the moment, are Full Tilt going to start playing too passively? Are they going to think, hang on a minute, guys, we were really comfortable. We were on their last, basically, with
like
3 in there, but no, they've responded with even more aggression. Gio's in a bit of trouble. He is over on Kost. Kost very, very weak up the top. Can anybody finish him off? Zaka did jump as well to try and get the kill on the medic when it was cool, but Mike body blocked that rocket, and it's not working out for Jasmine. Dave, is he going to be able to get out with Yui? Yui, if you probably want anyone with him right there, Yui's the man, and it does manage to get his medic back to lobby, but they've lost that midpoint.
Yeah, lost another midpoint there. I must say, great play by Kost, dodging a number of different rockets and from multiple opponents. Of course, Dave managed to get away in the end as well, so the Ubers will be exactly the same, and Full Tilt be feeling very confident in this position, Arx. They haven't actually failed a push yet on this map against Jasmine, just to let you know. So every push they've gone, they've got it, and that's why its score line is as it suggests. Let's just see what they fancy. Obviously, Jasmine defending quite aggressively. They don't want to give up any free ground. at all. Just a little bit fight going up on the battlements area there.
Balash is down. They've got to be careful, though, if they do decide to push off this. There's a lot of stickies. Poulsen just opening the door there, but they do have that sniper as well. They've already got one pick. If they get a second one, surely they're getting out into this yard area. The stickies are now gone. They are pushing their way forward. Scout on the point for a second, but the Uber is popped to try and defend it. Full Tilt going aggressive with Medic Soldier, but they're going to have to fall back out the point. There isn't enough support for them. Scout is trying to take that back, and he's doing a good job. Balash is also looking at the flank, but they have to give up this fourth point for Full Tilt, and Jasmine taking it back outside.
Yeah, it's nicely done by Jasmine, actually. So the sniper may not necessarily got the picks, Arx, but forced the team round the corner, so it allowed them onto the point.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it allowed them onto the point. So let's just see how Full Tilt respond. Again, still time in Full Tilt's favour. Score still sitting at 3-1. They need to move fairly quickly, Arx, as we've been talking about.
Zaka got shut down on the flank. Balash there read the jump perfectly. He just basically meat shot him a couple of times and he was done. So that's one player down. Geo is trying to stay as far forward at the choke. He has her players come in. Soldier jumping over. He's isolated. He's forced to jump up over to the rocks. Missed the rocks though. And that's a bit of trouble. There is a lot of damage coming out from Poulsen though. That was a lot of players caught in those sticky traps. Can they do it? Ubers are popped for both teams, but the numbers just simply aren't there for Jasmine anymore. They are falling back inside. We do have
behind.
But check Mike as well. Mike's going all the way round to the back. He's actually underneath the last point. If they cap this point, he might even take the last one.
Has it been called?
Geo, rocket jumped away. Mike's on the point. Can anyone get back in time? They're reacting not quick enough. Mike kills him, juggles him in the air. Solentes is on the point as well. And great play from Full Tilt. There, Mike sensing it. He just sensed he could get into that last point. The team followed him up, and that was a beautifully executed forward cap, do you want to call it?
So that hill that Jasmine had to climb has now turned into a mountain. 4-1 the score, and we are running out of time very quickly. 7 minutes left, so Arx, they're going to have to get 3 rounds in those 7 minutes to get golden cap. I assume that's what they're going to be aiming for at least, and it's not looking likely at the moment. Let's just see how they do on this next mid-fight. Full Tilt have been playing very aggressive. Mike pretty much uncontested as he jumps up there. They're so quickly. He says that Yui Man is actually destroying him this time. Read it very well. But Jasmine's still losing players. There's 3 players off the bounce, and it looks like they want to fall out. 4 players on the bounce. It's only Dave left. That mid-fight not working out for them at all.
Out-DM'd. Absolutely out-DM'd there as Dave
wipe.
does get a nice shot over onto Ali there. But yeah, that is a wipe for the time being. You know what? Full Tilt can stall this out if they want to. Even though they have an Uber advantage, it's going to be a long time before Jasmine can push out unless Full Tilt mess up their push. This is one of those situations where actually, with this much time remaining, they could try and stall it out. 3 rounds, 6 minutes. Not looking likely. However, they have got that push. They are sensing blood. Mike moving in over onto the side. He does get caught by some massive stickies, and he might actually go down. He's basically got no health, but he is underneath the capture point. Right now, we'll have to watch him as he makes his way over onto the point. Solentes is also on the point now. Pyro's going to try and push it back, but 2 soldiers sitting in the back. Scout on the point as well. And that is 5-1. This is getting out of hand, and well, Full Tilt are sensing 1 foot in that for that 3rd place match.
Yeah, so Constellation final will
That's
follow for Full Tilt if they are successfully going to win this, and well, at the moment it definitely looks like it's going to be that way. Jasmine have 5 minutes, just over 5.5 minutes to turn this around.
And they need 4 rounds.
Yeah, they need 4 rounds. Is it technically still doable, Arx, even if they roll them on this mid?
Mathematically, yes.
Only what? I mean, Gullywash has been pretty quick in the past, but I don't think I've ever seen anything slower than a minute.
The problem is it hasn't just got to be quick once, it's got to be quick 4 times. And right now, it's looking better, well, sort of all right for them. They haven't lost as many players as quickly as they normally do, but they're only 3 against 4 at the moment. They do have the high advantage. Great pill there coming out from Ali, taking down Poulsen, taking down Madness before that as well. And yeah, I think Dave's in a bit of trouble here. We do have Ast chasing him down. Dave goes down, and you've got to think that that is, well...
They know it's done, They know it's done. Yeah. I think that little bit at the end just showed it was done. They've been definitely out-fought on that mid-fight on this 3rd and final map. I did feel fairly confident for them on Snakewater, but again, that aggression from Full Tilt, I'm not certain what happened at that break. But I can't even say it's their shreddies for breakfast because it's, what, 9 o'clock at night now. Way gone past shreddies' durability. So let's just see how Full Tilt finishes off. Will they finish this off in style and reaching the win limit? Or are we going to see Jasmine put up a little bit more fight. Uber does come in. Dave is on his own, being chased by Ast. All on his own there. It looks like one of the scouts trying to come in as well, Madness, but Jasmine losing players all over the shop. It's only going to be Geo, and it's going to be Ast takes the final CP for Full Tilt. 6-1 to the score, and there we have it. Full Tilt going to be going forward into the consolation final, and Jasmine T, thank you for coming, but your visas have now expired. Oh. Right, well, instead of us doing the analysis, let's hand over to our fine young gentleman on the right-hand side of me. Arx, really impressive aggression, though, from Full Tilt.
It was. They certainly turned it up when they needed to, and they just showed that they could out-DM them. And it's a DM-heavy central point. And it was, yeah, a great game, to be honest. Great showing from the Australians, but it wasn't enough on the day.
Well, there we have it. Thank you very much. Arx Beta signing out for the moment, and, well, we'll hand you over to our analysts for the full details.
Just like to apologise to Dashner that we did not have a trigger warning before visas were mentioned. Sorry, friend. But as they said, Jasmine T's dream ends here, and I have to point the finger of blame at CommanderX, who jinxed him right at the beginning of our analysis by saying that an Aussie team could only finish 4th.
Forever 4th.
What a dick.
Sorry, Australia. Better luck next year.
To steal someone else's line, I don't know where we saw this one, but Jasmine T has turned into Jasmine Tears here at the end of day 2. And
we've got loads of knees, so we're going to keep them coming.
What was that you were saying about kangaroos earlier?
Unlike the mighty kangaroo, Jasmine T weren't able to bounce back.
Yes. I really felt, though, like...
Awful.
They could have come back when it was still 3-0. There was 15 minutes left. They had some momentum going. They were doing nice things with like the slow sniper push from last. They were getting some territory. It was a little bit back and forth. They just couldn't quite get the ball rolling. They had got that one round. And then, like we've talked before about how Full Tilt don't really have a real leadership voice or a caller. But I think the thing that inspires them more is big plays. And whenever Mike made that big play, the floodgates opened. Like they were just seriously a momentum team there. I don't think Jasmine's T stood a chance at that point after Mike had, secured them that 4th round.
Yeah. Like it looked hesitant for a bit when they slowly but surely got that round back, but then they just got crushed on mid again, and Full Tilt were winning so many of these 1v1s and 2v2s. And like Arx said, they're just winning all the fights across the board, and it was just too much for Jasmine T to handle.
Like I definitely could have seen, Full Tilt throwing it, Jasmine T just embracing it with open arms, but it didn't happen. The Aussies are out, and we'll see why when we look at the logs.
Just to confirm their loss, my headset is on the wrong side.
Well, unsurprising really. Now, all of Full Tilt's numbers are better than Jasmine T's numbers.
Wow.
I do love looking at the logs of a 6-1 roll.
Ast, we mentioned it before. We said free Ast. Ast has been freed. Look at that. 29, 18, and 8.
I believe you were saying what I confirmed at the start, but I wasn't listening because I was adjusting my headset. But by looking at those numbers highlighted, I'm going to say uniquely that Ast was freed.
We agree, Admirable.
That's a stunning insight, WARHURYEAH.
Thank you. I don't know if we touched on that, but I assume we didn't.
Hadn't come up.
Good. Well, I'm bringing it up now. I'm amazing at this. If you want to hire me, you can do by filling out the contact form on my website, WARHURYEAH.gg.
We will analyse anything.
I am open to Overwatch.
Too soon. Tournament's not even over yet, mate. The corpse of TF2 is still warm.
That guy pressed Q better than them. But yeah, anyway, Mike's DPM of insane for a roaming soldier, 356, and we were saying, well, I say you guys, I was saying how having that sort of DPM and how actually having us clearly being able to clean up those frags is just something that is invaluable to a team. Like it's really, really good. And when he's playing at his peak and it's quite momentum based, everybody else will sort of rally around thinking, wow, that guy's getting some sick frags, I want to join in, and then that's it, they all go loose. And that's how they seem to play, and it looks like we were saying about Snakewater is how they weren't able to really like dictate the game or play in their comfort zone. They weren't really they were trying to match their opponents, you know. Whereas this one, we actually see them playing how they should. And just look at those.
The story here told by the mid ratio 7-0.
The mids were formidable. I do have a presentation ready, but we'll get onto that later. But the kill difference, 56 frags to 102, as CommanderX leans in closely for a better look.
7k damage difference as well, just smashing the DM.
That is, yeah, and every single mid, like, completely destroyed as well, if I remember, from...
Dave died every mid, I think, as well.
Yeah, actually, can we get some medic comparisons, please?
I think as well, especially when Jasmine T finally got that round back, the fact that they've just got crushed on middle took any momentum out of their sails again.
That's like, no!
We can do it! No, we can't.
No! Get down! No, you're not. You're shit. But yeah, it was kind of like underwhelming from Jasmine T, dare I say.
They fought so hard. Like, you saw the round times there, like 10 minutes for that one round that they got, but they lost 5 rounds in the same space of time.
Yeah, they got so far, but in the end it doesn't.
They came so far.
It doesn't even matter.
They tried so hard.
But in the end, it doesn't really matter.
They finished 4th.
Yep.
Look at this. A plus 39 frag differential on middle.
And Ast with plus 12. That is
insane.
That just reinforces our point about how they won 7 middles and
that is
lost
sickening.
0.
I feel like vomiting from that statistic.
Can we bring up the kill, what's it called, the frag difference on players? Who's fragged whom?
Yes, that one. Oh, that's...
The Ast show.
Oh, Jesus
Everybody.
Christ. I feel like...
Can we get a bag up here for War? He's looking a bit unwell.
That's disgusting. This should be on Pornhub. It's not safe for work here. Please take it down. There's kids out there. But yeah, it was just really, really good. Like, they were absolutely formidable. And if they can play like that against Froyo, then they have a chance. The problem is that obviously, if they do that against Froyo, they've got to do it against Crowns. And that's going to be a different story.
The biggest problem is, well, on top of that biggest problem, the second biggest problem is it took them all day to get to this stage.
Yeah.
It took them all day to warm up.
It's like something clicked after the last game. It was like, wait, we're sick fraggers.
They're going to have to get out here at 4 AM to start warming up if they want to be ready.
To prepare. It's like they just need someone to hold like a card in front of their row just to say frags equals win. Because that seems to be where we were saying earlier, they just weren't, there's no shame in admitting it. If you're a one-dimensional team and you're dependent on frags and, DM, then just make sure that you play to those strengths. There's like no way of trying to, as we were saying, meet them at their own game they're not comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And it shows because they were getting really riled up about the whole passive play. I mean, even last season, it was the one with Sideshow, which obviously they lost ultimately in the grand final, but I remember Sil going into Mumble afterwards and saying how, he was quite annoyed about how negative Crowns were playing. Mm-hmm. And even, like, multiple times they've always sort of mentioned about how they don't like that negative play style. And it's like, well, I know it's difficult, but you might as well play the game that you like playing.
We saw it with Jasmine T on the first day. They just went aggressive. They took the game to them, and it surprised a lot of the teams here.
Yeah. If we could bring up my amazing diagram.
Whoa.
Now you may be thinking, wow, that's a mess. And you're right, because doing it on a Chromebook and a touchpad is quite difficult for me. And my fingers are sweaty, so it doesn't exactly work. But this was one of the mids that I sort of like picked out, where at the very, very start, you had Paulson that went top left. He was very, very defensive, and pretty much instantly, he was met with Mike, and all Mike was doing was just sort of spanning him down. So he was already taking a really defensive position, but one of the sort of like real changing points that I felt was how after that, both of the scouts that are also there then tried to focus down Mike. Mike got killed, but then instantly Sil then jumped on him. So it's like completely, like there's no let up on the pressure. They think, okay, let's focus that soldier down. That's it, and it's gone. But one of the real sort of key parts I would say on middle was Ali. because during that point, when they had sort of like thwarted the pressure from the soldiers, you can see as well how spread out they are across the map. And it's really, really difficult when you're trying to sort of recover from early soldier aggression and you need to focus the target. You need to sort of like regather, find out what it is that you need to do. And that's one of the problems. And I think Ali dropping onto Valley, taking like the focus away and giving like, and trying to give Jasmine like a focal point, completely sort of tore them apart, because when they started focusing Ali, like that position for a Dare Man is really strong because it's so easy to arc your stickies up to where they were, and that's pretty much all he did. He just pretty much just focused the top. He was able to do so much damage, and then by that time, like they were so weak that the scouts just moved across the point as well, and they just got destroyed. And it was pretty much that every single middle. They just got absolutely outplayed on that mid.
It baited people down as well. Like when Ali gets on his low ground position, they're like, he's on the low ground, let's eliminate the demo man. And they do, and they will get him eventually, but then they've just set up great, easy frags, like you said, for the rest of their team.
And again, I think, as we were saying, it's Full Tilt's comfort zone, and they were able to play off each other's DM ability. And they do have some of the best DMers in the game at the moment. And
if they could do this tomorrow, I genuinely believe they're a bit of a dark horse now. Like I had hope for them before the event, but if they can play like they did there, I have really high hopes.
So it's a bit. I'm hoping that we see the exact same, but it's an unknown quantity.
Another one of them.
Yeah, and they've been popping up.
You'd almost think that we don't know what we're talking about with all these unknown quantities playing around, man. It's,
it is, but yeah, I think it's just a case of you don't know what Full Tilt is going to arrive tomorrow.
Think they're going to be slightly pissed that you're doing the homework here for Froyo Tech and Crowns?
The key to beating Froyo Tech is to give them food poisoning.
Solid. But like you're suggesting that Full Tilt should start trying to play an aggressive style. Don't try and imitate Crowns.
It just the thing is that
play to your strengths.
Yeah, it's clear that I don't know if we can remove the Gully Wash Moodle. I mean, I know it's a fantastic screenshot. It is framed perfectly. To keep the viewers at home entertained, I'm just going to put sentry guns around the back until somebody changes it. But anyway, so the most important thing, I feel, as we were mentioned ages ago, was how they really, really need to bring the game to Froyo Tech. And we saw it, if they don't let them settle, then there's no reason why they can do it. The problem for them is that after that is the final boss video game things, where they've got to do it against Crowns.
Crowns are very experienced against them as well.
But the thing is that if they just like go into these games with like a positive mindset, and if there is a case of them turtling up, like don't consider it as like such a negative thing. Just sort of like really just go for it.
It's an obstacle. Just find a way to get around the obstacle. Don't sit there going, why, come on, why are they doing this?
Exactly.
They're so rubbish.
It's like, that they should know it. It's like an obstacle of having to go outside when you've been inside all day. Just go out there.
I mean, Jasmine T playing against Froyo Tech earlier in the day did show that like the aggressive style can definitely get them flustered. I'm sure they lost both maps kind of by throwing it themselves, but I think it could be effective in the first game tomorrow. But against Crowns, they've got 7 players.
5 maps.
If there was ever a team in need of a coach, I think it's Full Tilt.
Well, yeah, we need to just get someone in there.
Should we all go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having a look at our analysis, I don't see why they wouldn't. Just get us 3 in the mumble with them. And then we're like, all right, what do we need to do in this situation? And we're just going, lol.
If you could all just pause and look at this diagram for a second.
Give me a moment, guys. I'm going to just put the tactics.tf viewer link in mumble for you guys. If you can alt-tab and take a look for me, we'll get right onto it.
We're allowed like 50 tactile pauses a map, aren't we?
Exactly. But like, just take a look at this and give us one moment.
If you just pause and wait long enough to see what's happening on the stream, then you can get some easy information.
The other problem is, though, Admirable won't probably even be there.
He'll be there for the last map, the best of 5 in the grand final.
I will show up eventually, I promise. But are we going to have an interview coming up? Yeah?
I believe.
Yeah? Yeah?
We have one of the stars of that last game.
Okay. eXtine, take it away, buddy.
That's not asked.
Yeah, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry, distracted by the love from the audience over there. Here with our final interview segment, and I got with me Mike from Full Tilt, just fresh off a victory. But to start things off, I just wanted to ask you about the course of your guys' journey today, starting, of course, in that upper bracket, but then fighting through and ending up with a place in this lower bracket final that we're going to be playing tomorrow. So we didn't get a chance to see all those games. Why don't you just give a breakdown of how today went for you?
Well, we started versus Spanked, and we thought it was a good warm-up compared to like the top-seeded teams that had to play the teams from the open bracket. No offense, one of them was actually really good and took a map off Xenix, but yeah, so we had really good games versus Spanked. I remember we played Granary and Snakewater or something like that, and it was just like we were happy with how we played. We weren't like super warmed up, or like the comms weren't really flowing, but it was enough to win, and we felt comfortable. So then we all felt good after that, but I guess when we went into the Crowns game, we just kind of realized we just weren't calming enough. That was like the main issue. And as well, we sort of started each map badly, and we just couldn't get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys also ended up with a 3-game series against Xenix. Were you guys surprised at them taking that second map off you, and what did you have to do to kind of refocus to make sure you could get that third map victory?
Yeah, I mean, again, the first map was like really good, and we just felt we just wanted to get out of the way, an easy 2-0, and then just move on, because we knew the next game would be pretty hard. It would either be Jasmine, T or Crowns, WARHURYEAH. So then, but on product, they just like surprised us. Both their solids like played super aggressive, and we just couldn't protect costs. We kept losing them all the time, and it just made it impossible to regroup and get Ubers or crits or anything. So yeah, we kind of just got destroyed on product, and we just reset. We knew Snakewater would be a different map. We predicted, or like we kind of talked about what we needed to change in order to counter the soldier aggression. Like we just played a lot more like a default setup because Sil had been playing quite like a roamer. We've been playing with kind of 2 roamers up until that point. So I told him to just play more pocket like and just like protect costs and don't jump as much. And yeah, so it's fine on Snakewater. It started a bit rough, and but we got like a 2-round lead, and we were like, yeah, this is going to be fun.
Nice. Now, you guys obviously got a chance to play Jasmine T in the round robin. After you guys eliminated Xenix, was there anything in particular from your earlier experiences against Jasmine T, as well as what you might have seen today, that you kind of tried to narrow in on as a goal that would help you guys defeat them?
Well, firstly, we PCW'd them a lot during their boot camp, and we really didn't know what to make of them, because apparently they had bad PCs, and we were kind of rolling them, and everyone was rolling them, like Xenix and Spanked. So we really didn't know how good they were, but we did notice some things other than like things which would be affected other than the DM, like where they roll out. Like on Gully Wash, when we played them, they had their whole team go big door and their medic go choke, and we kind of figured that's not a PC issue, that's like a game sense issue, you know. But they played so much better on LAN. And we didn't get to watch the game versus Crowns or WARHURYEAH, I don't know, because we were playing versus Crowns at the time. But we knew from our game yesterday that they were really good, and we knew that they like to do a lot of dry pushes without Uber altogether, but we're pretty good at dealing with that, so we just kind of tried to ban maps that were good for dry pushes, like Process. We feel like it's quite easy to get in mid on Process just without Uber. So yeah, we based our picks and bans around that. And other than that, we didn't know much else. Like they play kind of similar to us, really. They don't really play like kinds of WARHURYEAH, so it was a good game for us because I enjoy playing like those versus kind of teams.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, it was a good game, a good series for you. The moment that I definitely saw from you that was awesome was Granary. You were hiding near Lunchbox. They came up there, they turned, they didn't see you, they didn't look for you, and then you got a drop off of it. What were some of the other highlights, or do you have any other details that you could add, give us from that series?
Well, about that drop, it's like we were 1-0 up, and 3 minutes left. I knew they were going to be like a bit flustered. They were going to be rushing because they didn't have much time left. So I was like, they're probably not going to drop down. So I'll just hide here. And I knew where they had crits, and yeah, that worked out really well. But other highlights, I don't know. I had some nice air shots, but I don't know what happened on Snakewater though. I knew we just kept running crits like full time, and I think we all agreed as a team that we wanted to stop running crits. And that really helped us on Gully Wash, like you could see, it was just perfect. But even sometimes on Gully Wash, Koss wanted to switch to crits, and we just like, no, keep it Uber, and it worked out fine. So I guess the highlight was realizing that we suck with crits.
Now you guys are going into the lower bracket final up against Froyotech tomorrow. Obviously, you don't have to give away any of your secrets, all of your secrets, but you guys had a strong performance against them in the group stage, getting a draw. What are your thoughts on this matchup? I mean, you guys seem to be picking up in form. You must be feeling pretty confident about it.
Yeah, like considering Froyotech had a really close game with Jasmine team today, and we had like good, I'd say 6-1 versus Galleywash shows a lot. So if we can play like we did today, just carry it on until tomorrow. Like, I don't really rate them. They're not as good as they used to be without Clockwork and Duartner and Blaze. Like, it's like a big downgrade, I think. So, and I know they're having some sort of internal issues as well with like Muma and Banny and all this kind of drama. So I'm not really worried. I'm just happy we beat Jasmine T because that was a real test. But tomorrow, yeah, I think we'll be okay with that because they play kind of similar to Crowns, so we know how to play against these kind of teams. And in our last game, we were being really patient and methodical, just how we needed to be. So it'll be fine, I think.
So Crowns is the opponent waiting in the grand finals. Hopefully you guys will be getting there. What are your thoughts on Cadis as a coach? And do you think that that's something that you might implement in the future for Full Tilt or whatever team you might play on in the future, having a coach?
Well, we don't need a coach because we have game sense. We can think for ourselves and we have good comms. But like, it's just funny because none of their players none of them are leaders, and that's why they need Cadis. But personally, I don't really like the plugin, but I don't mind it being allowed. It's just, it makes a big difference for them. But we don't need one ourselves.
Nice. That's a very interesting insight. So we're about to wrap things up. I'm going to throw it over to the panel in a second to give us some final rundown of what to expect tomorrow. But before I do that, Mike, we'd just love to give you a chance to give some shout-outs.
A shout out to my team for stepping it up when it mattered, because we were really struggling and we all talked about a lot of things, so I'm just really glad we all pulled through. And of course, everyone that was standing behind us and cheering for us, and everyone on stream that supports our team, and also everyone that donated to the fundraiser. A huge thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, Mike. Really appreciate the interview. We'll be wishing you luck tomorrow, hoping for a great result and some more great matches. So, ladies and gentlemen, for one last time, I'm going to throw it over to Get a Whale to take us out for the night.